What's going on, guys? Today is a big day. It is Facebook Connect. I'm going to be joined by my buddy Alex VR from Between Realities. You guys should know him. If you don't follow that, you really should. One of the best VR podcasts out there. He's on. He's listening. I'm going to bring him on in 2 seconds, but I'm pumped. We'll talk about our expectations, and then within 15 minutes, we'll be starting the show. It's a crazy day, man. I'm ready to go. Let me bring Alex on right now. 1 second here, guys. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. What's up?
Dude, what's up, man? How's it going, Mateo? Thanks for having me.
I am rarely excited in life in general. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm rarely excited. And today, man, I don't know. Like the stream, I don't know. I'm more anxious about the stream than ever. I'm like crazy to see what's going to be announced. I don't know. This is a wacky day, man. I'm excited. How's everybody doing? How's the stream coming in? Did I break anything yet? You pre-ordered.
We got an echo on my mic.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Do you want? Why do we have an echo on your mic?
I don't know. You know, we sound checked it. Now batting, Mike Piazza.
I could put on headphones if need be, in case I'm the one causing the echo. Echo! Ugh. All right, let's switch over here. See, I knew we'd break something, man.
Yeah, what'd I tell you?
It's like mandatory.
Well, I am super excited as well. You know, Oculus Connect is like kind of where I was born. You know, it's got a special place in my heart. So regardless of whether or not they change the name or, you know, whatever, I'll always be excited for this event. You know, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen today because, like it or not, Facebook is the primary player in VR. So a lot of what we see today is going to shape the next year.
Hell yeah. Guys, let me know if that helped out the audio. Otherwise, I don't know where double audio would be coming in from. Wait, let me minimize this Facebook page that was just in the background. Let's see how that goes.
Oh, now I'm very quiet.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, I know why you're not coming in at all. Because when I switched over, you didn't switch to my. We should have got this in a little bit earlier, man. I knew things were gonna go sideways. Yeah, it is Alex's fault. I said, come on, man, hurry up. Let me just switch him over, and he will come in properly. Sorry about that, guys. Look, you guys can see me touching stuff live. This is a scramble. Okay, we want to bring you down to this. All right, say something.
Yo.
There we go. Okay, guys.
We're good.
There we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. That's it. Everyone left the stream, and you ruined it.
Yay.
Oh, this page is just like, oh. They have this one Facebook page right there. I have it in the background, but it is just like cranked. Let me just bring it back up. So how is everybody doing? Alex, what are you thinking we're going to see today? What are your expectations?
Well, you know, I feel like it's kind of a bummer that like a lot of times right before these events, you start to see a lot of the leaks and stuff like that. You know, like we saw a lot of footage already of a new headset, and I have a feeling we're going to see that footage. You know what I mean? We'll probably see an expanded version of it. We'll probably get a couple of our questions answered. But at the end of the day, I think we have a good idea of what's coming as far as hardware is concerned. So I personally would love to get some hype on the software aspect of things. You know, I'm a longtime Beat Saber fan, so I would love for an amazing, like, boom, huge, awesome, like, you know, like a new feature or something like that added to Beat Saber that like really breathes some new life into it and like gets everybody back in there. Because after all, it's a first party title from them now, and it's still like #1 on a lot of people's lists. So I would love to see something really big from Beat Saber.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest Beat Saber fan, but that would definitely excite some people for sure. I have some expectations that I'll just run through really fast. I think we are definitely going to get release dates for some titles that we know are coming. So there's a few titles that we know are coming, we just don't have dates on yet, like Medal of Honor and After the Fall. We're going to get those release dates, and I think they're going to be right around the corner. I'm pretty sure there's going to be at least one unexpected title dropping soon.
That sounds good.
Yep. I think it'll be a decently exciting one. I'm expecting more than that, but I'm pretty sure I know of one. Hardware-wise, I think it's going to be more teases, maybe a pre-order, but nothing like, hey, you can get this tomorrow. Even though that wasn't the case like in the past. But I think hardware teases, I really don't know where they're going to go with the hardware. Like, we know new hardware is coming. We have this pro version, which is going to be something like, it looks like professional, like not like, because it looked more like, it looked more production, or rather, like office use centric.
Yeah,
one of the demos.
I feel you.
So it looks like that's the angle they're heading with. At the same time, I really don't know. Like, they always throw at least some curveball in there.
It's going to be an exciting. This whole event's going to be awesome. This rest of this year is going to be awesome because we have CES in January, and that's another amazing place where we start to see a lot of this new hardware and like kind of start to see the direction that a lot of this stuff is going to go. I feel like this falls on deaf ears every time I see it or every time I say it. But when I was at CES in 2020, the thing that blew me away most were the Pico glasses that plugged into your phone that went into your pocket. Like, I cannot stress enough how cool it was. And it was only 3 DOF VR. It wasn't even 6 DOF like a lot of these devices are now. And just being able to throw the glasses on and like be in VR, like boom, like right away, super comfortably. Like, they looked really sleek and really cool. It didn't bother me to have the phone in my pocket. Like, I was blown away by it. So that really gave me a glimpse as to like where all of this stuff is going to go. And now that I'm seeing this smaller form factor, I'm super, super excited. And, a lot of people are like talking smack about the Vive Flow, right? Because the hardware specifications are not up to par. And I don't blame you, but I wouldn't be surprised if once we actually get our hands on some of this stuff, when we look around and we're in there, we might be like, oh, this is pretty nice, because these are
Alex,
bricks that we wear.
Let me just cut you off there 1 second. A lot of people are saying your audio is out of sync. Actually, that's what I'm getting from Discord from you. So what I'm seeing, we're just on a regular Discord call, but yeah, your audio is unsynced for what I'm seeing. So it's not, a stream aspect. It's something with our Discord call.
Well, I can maybe take a look at OBS really quick.
Hey, give it a little kick. See if you can get it in, because that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing straight from Discord itself.
It's delayed. I'll try to bring it up.
Yeah. While he breaks stuff, I will talk to you guys. Hey, so you can see like my audio shouldn't be delayed. At least when I'm seeing it looks normal too. So as far as comments, guys, I'm not going to be able to answer too many of them while we're live. We're going to be paying attention to what's going on with the show. I know, we have a few minutes. If Alex can figure it out, we'll get it going. Project 4 would be a great announcement. I would love to see that. We'll just see what's coming. Yeah, I'm bang on. Hell yeah. It's just one of those things, man. A lot of moving parts. We were all scrambling. I jumped from work to here to this. I actually did my hair for you guys. No, but okay. So I went through some of my expectations. I saw someone mentioned, why do I use an index? It's because it's my favorite. I've used 9 different headsets over the past 5 years now, and it's the most comfortable, has the best audio. There are headsets with better fidelity, but it has a great FOV, bigger than average, not bigger than Pimax, but bigger than average, and it doesn't have any compromises. That's, it's still on the show its age for sure. And a lot of people break their controllers over time. I had mine replaced. But it's the best overall package. And that's why I use an index. I enjoy it. I love it. People complain about the cable. I rarely feel the cable. I'm willing to deal with the cable for the excessively increased fidelity and audio quality and stuff like that I get. So that's why I use an index. My hair looks pretty, thanks. Facebook's new name, I don't know. Bigger than average. 6 minutes. Oh, geez, it's only 6 minutes, and Alex isn't even here. Question for you guys while we're here. He's like in the background. I'm here. Do you want us to stay on this screen or this? I assume this will be a little bit better because it's a little bit bigger there. And if I have to uncrop it, it's cropped for YouTube. That's generally how a YouTube page comes in. If I have to uncrop it, I will. But what are you guys thinking? We stay, that's probably too small. You guys are probably thinking, no, you want the full screen. New name. I don't know. But the Facebook verse. Oh my God, that'd be so terrible. I've had people complain that the index isn't balanced for them. You got to understand, comfort is subjective. Everyone has a different shaped head. So for most people, I think it's extremely balanced. But there are some people who complain, and I know they get counterbalances. Cookie book? I don't know. Facebook, what they need to work on is their rep. What's helping them is they're producing a product that people want at a great price. And people are willing to overlook privacy concerns and the fact that like Facebook keeps coming up for random things. But other than that, yeah. Maybe change back and forth. I guess when we're doing our thing, this will be a little bit better. Let's see how Alex is doing.
I'm just gonna have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, it looks a little bit better.
That's cool.
It's still a little delayed.
A little bit. Yeah, I think there's like a filter or something that I can do. Something to do with the OBS, virtual webcam.
So guys, if the stream is just terrible, it is 100% Alex's fault.
Feel free to just start dropping dislikes on this video, everybody.
Yeah, do it.
Dislike.
Thanks, buddy. I actually have your screen is actually slightly off, but I will move it.
Yeah.
Your Discord cam.
Yeah, this is gonna be good, man. Oculus Connect is it's awesome. Or it used to be.
Well, I want to go live. That's what I can't wait for. So
it makes me long for it.
Link, is there a different link besides the Facebook Connect page that I'm on right now?
Are you on? You're on Facebook at Facebook Reality Labs.
I'm at facebookconnect.com. You got a different link for me? Because I don't want to screw this up more than we already did.
Dude, we haven't even started yet, man.
Listen, I have tons of anxiety, especially in the fall months. My brain goes nuts, man.
Well,
once the sun disappears, my brain just breaks.
There's nothing for us to worry about. We're chilling, we're among friends, and we're about to get a bunch of hopefully exciting announcements from the Zuckerverse.
Yeah, I think there'll definitely be some exciting stuff for us. No doubt.
Oh, by the way, we are going to do the metaverse drinking game. I have a bottle of whiskey here, and so does Mateo. And every time they say metaverse,
vodka. It's vodka.
Oh, vodka. Okay, very good.
What I have on hand.
Yeah. So we're just gonna every time they say metaverse, everyone take a shot, and
we all die.
Let's see if we can get through this together. Just kidding.
All right, we got 2 minutes. So where's that link? How cool.
There it is.
Copy the link. Bring it over here. It's gonna be on a dopey Facebook page. All right, cool. Let's do.
See live keynote.
Yeah.
Looks like streaming now. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Oh boy. It's exciting.
There you go. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to recrop this, so I'm glad you sent me that. Let me go over here. That's actually cropped pretty damn decent. Yep. Everything likes to, resize itself. but that's got a decent crop on it. So my window is sized for what's called YouTube theater mode. But of course, they don't want to use YouTube. Bring it in so it's perfect.
Dude, your prediction of like big announcements kind of got me thinking. You know, like seeing Resident Evil 4 in my library on the Quest was actually something kind of special. Like I didn't think it would be, but like once I downloaded it and I saw it there, like Resident Evil 4, like such a huge game, like Resident Evil, such a huge IP, and to like see it on a standalone Quest, like as a real Quest title, you know, it was pretty awesome. And then when loading it up and seeing the Capcom logo, like really crazy to see such an iconic logo from all my years of gaming pop up in my Quest when I fired it up. You know,
it was definitely a big deal. I mean, there's no way around it. It's definitely a big deal. I mean, they made the right move. You know, like I've spoken about it. They've definitely made the right move. They knew what they were doing. They picked like the right game. If anyone's gonna poop on Facebook, it's gonna be me. Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Share our vision for the future. And with all the scrutiny and public debate, some of you might be wondering.
We can't hear that, or I can't hear that.
The answer is that I believe
it's coming
that
in
we're
through
put
OBS.
on this earth to create. I believe that technology can make our lives better, and I believe that the future won't be built on its own. It will be built by those who are willing to stand up and say, this is the future we want, and I'm going to keep pushing and giving everything I've got to make this happen. Now, I know that some people will say that this isn't a time to focus on the future. And I want to acknowledge that there are important issues to work on in the present. There always will be. So for many people, I'm just not sure there ever will be a good time to focus on the future. But I also know that there are a lot of you who feel the same way that I do. We live for what we're building, and while we make mistakes, we keep learning and building and moving forward. So, for all of you who share these values, I dedicate today to you. In my mind, you're the heroes in our society who push the world forward. And as long as I'm running this company, I will do my best to celebrate this spirit and absolutely go for it.
I have him cranked. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm sorry. I really have it cranked all the way up. I don't know why. Well,
we always ask, where is the future going to take us? But the real question is, where are we going to take the future?
There are no closed doors, no walls.
Right. Holy mackerels, this is unbelievable.
Yo, what's up, Skiva?
We may have brain surgeons in Edinburgh operating on patients in New Zealand.
You'll send emotions, feelings, memories.
Imagine a world where we are represented the way we want to be.
You know, in the future, it just feels like long distance won't be so distant.
There's a big frontier. Where do you want to go?
And we're just getting started.
Appreciate the past, utilize the present, but don't be afraid to create the future.
creating the future, guys. Here we go.
Hey, and welcome to Connect. Today, we're going to talk about the metaverse. I want to share what we imagine is possible. The experiences you'll have, the creative economy we'll all build, and the technology that needs to be invented, as well as how we're going to all do this together. The basic story of technology in our lifetimes is how it's given us the power to express ourselves and experience the world with ever greater richness. Back when I started Facebook, that mostly meant text that we typed on computers. Then we all got phones with cameras, and the internet became much more visual. And recently, as connections got faster, video has become the main way that we experience content. We've gone from desktop to web to phones, from text to photos to video, but this isn't the end of the line. The next platform and medium will be even more immersive, an embodied internet where you're in the experience, not just looking at it. And we call this the metaverse. And you're gonna be able to do almost anything you can imagine. Get together with friends and family, work, learn, play, shop, create, as well as entirely new categories that don't really fit how we think about computers or phones today. Now, since we're doing this remotely today, I figured let's make this special. So we've put together something that I think is really gonna give you a feeling for what this future could be like. We believe the metaverse will be the successor to the mobile internet. We'll be able to feel present, like we're right there with people, no matter how far apart we actually are. We'll be able to express ourselves in new, joyful, completely immersive ways, and that's going to unlock a lot of amazing new experiences. When I send my parents a video of my kids, they're gonna feel like they're right in the moment with us, not peering through a little window. When you play a game with your friends, you'll feel like you're right there together in a different world, not just on your computer by yourself. And when you're in a meeting in the metaverse, it'll feel like you're right in the room together, making eye contact, having a shared sense of space.
Right out of the gate with metaverse stuff.
On a
This
screen.
is what VR is all about.
That's what we mean
Like,
by an
games are
embodied
cool,
internet.
but
Instead of looking at a
this
screen,
really is what
you're
it's
going to
about.
be in these experiences. Everything we do online today, connecting socially, entertainment, games, work, is going to be more natural and vivid. This isn't about spending more time on screens. It's about making the time that we already spend better. Screens just can't convey the full range of human expression and connection. They can't deliver that deep feeling of presence. But the next version of the internet can. That's what we should be working towards. Technology that's built around people and how we actually experience the world and interact with each other. That's what the metaverse is all about. Now, the best way to understand the metaverse is to experience it yourself, but it's a little tough because it doesn't fully exist yet. Some of the basic building blocks are here though, and others are starting to emerge as we speak. We're starting to get a sense of how it could all come together and what it could feel like. So today we're gonna do something a little bit different. Rather than just focusing on this year's products like a normal keynote, we're gonna talk about the future. So let's start by exploring what different kinds of metaverse experiences could feel like, starting with the most important experience of all, connecting with people.
They're making these androids look lifelike. Zuck looks pretty human.
Imagine you put on your glasses or headset and you're instantly in your home space. It has parts of your physical home recreated virtually, it has things that are only possible virtually, and it has an incredibly inspiring view of whatever you find most beautiful.
Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, just gotta find something to wear.
It's
All
pretty
right,
funny.
Perfect. Oh, hey, Mark. Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
Mark. What's up, Mark?
Whoa, we're floating in space?
Uh-huh.
Who made this place? It's awesome.
Right? It's from a creator I met in LA.
This place is amazing.
Boz, is that you?
Of course it's me. You know I had to be the robot, man.
I thought I was supposed to be the robot.
Whoa. I knew you were bluffing.
Really going with that Ready Player One angle.
Wait, where is Naomi?
Let's call her.
Naomi.
Hey, should we deal you in?
Sorry, I'm running late, but you gotta see what we're checking out. There's an artist going around Soho hiding AR pieces for people to find.
3D street art? That's cool.
Send that link over so we can all look at it. This is stunning.
Dude, that is something.
That's awesome.
I love the movement.
Wait, it's disappearing.
This is amazing.
Hold on, I'll tip the artist and they'll extend it.
Wow. Brilliant.
If you guys like it here, I have another room that you're gonna love. Check out this forest room.
Huh, let's see it.
Koi fish that fly? That's new.
This is wild.
And not enough furries. That would make this real.
Hey, you have to see this. Beast is going crazy.
Oh, I love that guy. We've got to show that to the kids. Can you also send that to my dad?
I'll message him.
All right, see you at home. This place is great, Boz, but there's something I gotta get back to. All right, so that's a glimpse of a few ways that we're gonna be able to get together and socialize in the metaverse. It's a ways off, but you can start to see some of the fundamental building blocks take shape. First, the feeling of presence. This is the defining quality of the metaverse. You're going to really feel like you're there with other people. You'll see their facial expressions, you'll see their body language, maybe figure out if they're actually holding a winning hand. All the subtle ways that we communicate that today's technology can't quite deliver. Next, there are avatars, and that's how we're going to represent ourselves in the metaverse. Avatars will be as common as profile pictures today, but instead of a static image, they're going to be living 3D representations of you. Your expressions, your gestures, that are going to make interactions much richer than anything that's possible online today. You'll probably have a photorealistic avatar for work, a stylized one for hanging out, and maybe even a fantasy one for gaming. You're going to have a wardrobe of virtual clothes for different occasions, designed by different creators and from different apps and experiences. Importantly, you should be able to bring your avatar and digital items across different apps and experiences in the metaverse. Beyond avatars, there is your home space. You're going to be able to design it to look the way you want, maybe put up your own pictures and videos and store your digital goods. You're going to be able to invite people over.
Is this intended for people who have no idea what VR is?
You'll also even have a home office where you can work.
I mean,
your home is your personal
like, I like it,
from
don't
which
get me wrong, but like,
to
don't we
anywhere you
all
want.
like know what the
Now,
metaverse
speaking of
is a little bit?
yeah, I mean, like,
all
I
kinds of
I
different
get the
spaces
angle. I
that
see where they're going, but
rooms like the ones that we just saw,
I'm not
but
feeling it.
also games and whole worlds that you can teleport in and out of whenever you want. Teleporting around the metaverse is going to be like clicking a link on the internet. It's an open standard. In order to unlock the potential of the metaverse, there needs to be interoperability. And that goes beyond just taking your avatar and digital items across different apps and experiences, which we are already building an API to support. You want to know that when you buy something or create something, that your items will be useful in a lot of contexts and you're not going to be locked into one world or platform. You want to know that you own your items, not a platform. Now, this is going to require not just technical work, like some of the important projects that are going on around crypto and NFTs in the community.
I knew it. See, like,
It's
I'm
also
scared the
going to take
NFT route.
ecosystem
I'm just
building,
not a fan.
norm setting, and new forms of governance. And this is something
Dude, I
that
don't
we're
think
really
you can avoid the NFTs.
Privacy and safety need to be built into the metaverse from day one. You'll get to decide when you want to be with other people, when you want to block someone from appearing in your space, or when you want to take a break and teleport to a private bubble to be alone. You're going to be able to bring things from the physical world into the metaverse. Almost any type of media that can be represented digitally, photos, videos, art, music, movies, books, games, you name it. Now, lots of things that are physical today, like screens, will just be able to be holograms in the future. You won't need a physical TV, it'll just be a $1 hologram from some high school kid halfway across the world. And you'll be able to take your items and project them into the physical world as holograms in augmented reality too. You're going to be able to move across these different experiences on all kinds of different devices, sometimes using virtual reality so you're fully immersed.
They're selling the
sometimes
metaverse
using
hotter
augmented
than I
reality
expected.
glasses so you can be present in the physical world as well, and sometimes on a computer or phone so you can quickly jump into the metaverse from existing platforms. There are going to be new ways of interacting with devices that are much more natural. Instead of typing or tapping, you're going to be able to gesture with your hands, say a few words, or even just make things happen by thinking about them. Your devices won't be the focal point of your attention anymore. Instead of getting in the way, they're going to give you a sense of presence in the new experiences that you're having and the people who you're with. And these are some of the basic concepts for the metaverse. And while this may sound like science fiction, we're starting to see a lot of these technologies coming together.
Notice how free for everyone
in the next
isn't
5
down
or
there.
10 years, a lot of this is going to be mainstream. And a lot of us will be creating and inhabiting worlds that are just as detailed and convincing as this one on a daily basis. So even though it's still a long way off, we're starting to work
I just
on
feel
some
like
of
the,
these
you know,
foundational
inclusivity,
concepts today.
like concepts are BS because
Horizon
they've been
is
very
the
like
social
they've gone
platform
out of their
that we're
way
building
for
people
exclusivity
to
on their
create
platform.
and interact in the metaverse. One part of this is Horizon Home, which is our early vision for a home space in the metaverse. Horizon Home is the first thing that you'll see when you put on your Quest headset. Today, there are already a bunch of options to choose from, and in the future, anyone will be able to create one. We've just called it Home until now because it's been missing something very important: people. Soon, we're going to be introducing a social version of Home, where you can invite your friends to join you as avatars. You'll be able to hang out, watch videos together, and jump into apps together. Then, there is Horizon Worlds, which is where you can build worlds and jump into them with people. Horizon is designed to make it possible for everyone to create, and we're already seeing people build some really interesting experiences, from creating new games together to throwing surprise parties in VR that family and friends around the world can join. We started rolling out Horizon Worlds in beta last year, and we're adding more people and more worlds every day. And we also just launched Horizon Workrooms earlier this year for collaboration. Beyond Horizon, we're also making it easier to communicate with your friends across different layers of reality. This year, we're bringing messenger calls to virtual reality. You're going to be able to invite your friends to a messenger call, and soon you'll be able to explore somewhere together or join a game. Now, these are the kinds of tools that need to get built so that you can jump into the metaverse with your friends from anywhere. And they're going to unlock some pretty amazing experiences. Now, let's move on from some of these basic concepts and people just connecting to a completely different set of experiences around entertainment and gaming.
All right. All right. Let's hope it heats up.
Imagine your best friend is at a concert somewhere across the world. What if you could be there with her?
I'm packing all my sneakers. I never had a car.
Yo. You're here!
Tell it like it is. Tell what you love, how you live. When you're doing what you're doing, just tell the truth. Just tell it.
Maybe I'm a little jaded here because, like, I know the potential of this technology. I know this is a possible future. You don't have to sell me on it, but that's me. So maybe that's why I just feel jaded here. Like, okay, come on, enough with this nonsense. This is cringy, but that's maybe just me. Other people probably have no clue, and this will open it up to a whole new market.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be a dick, you know.
Exactly. But, you know. I have a very expressive face.
Jumping in now.
What if there was an after party that anyone could go to, no matter where they were?
This is wild.
Hey, check this out.
Imagine a concert with Quest 2 audio.
Oh, there's swag.
And when you go to the after party, you could connect with other fans, hear new versions of your favorite songs, and check out the merch that just dropped.
Ooh, I like that one.
Well, now you've got to get it.
You can start to see how the metaverse
Really look
is going
CGI
to enable
there.
richer
Holy crap.
experiences by letting us add new layers to the world that we can interact with. Creators and artists are going to be able to connect with their audiences in new ways and really bring them into these shared experiences. Now, there's a lot that needs to get built to create experiences like this, but we're working on some of these pieces right now with Spark AR. First, we're building tools that creators can use to place digital objects into the physical world and let people interact with them. And rather than just simple visual effects, new creator capabilities will support 3D objects that can respond and react realistically, including a realistic sense of depth and occlusion. In the next year, we're also adding the ability for creators to connect different physical locations into cohesive augmented reality storytelling experiences, like guided tours or scavenger hunts. We're also building a Horizon marketplace
That sounds
where
fun.
creators can sell and share 3D digital items. And our hope is that this will enable a lot more commerce and help grow the overall metaverse economy. Because
Well, when they're
at the end
putting
of the
$4
day,
billion
it
a
is
year
really
in
the
or
creators
more,
and developers who are
possibly
going to build
$10 billion a
metaverse
year
and
into
make this real.
VR,
And to make sure that there's
AR,
an
all that
ecosystem
tech.
that can
Yeah, and
sustain
they're trying to find a way to
hundreds
make
of
money now.
thousands of people working on this, which is what we're going to need to bring this to life, then it's critical that creators and developers can make a good living doing this work. Now, if you ask people today what they thought the metaverse was, a lot of people would probably say it was a Spider-Man movie. But the people who actually follow the space would say it's about gaming. And that's because gaming provides many of the most team is joining me. Deb, do you want to take us through some of the exciting games in the pipeline for Quest?
Absolutely. Over the years, we've had the opportunity to work with incredible developers like Vertigo Games, the studio behind fan favorite Arizona Sunshine.
I love Arizona Sunshine. That
We're
game
gonna get the
basically
release
got
date.
me and my friends through the first few months of the pandemic.
That's awesome. If you enjoyed that, Mark, I think you'll be excited that we're partnering with Vertigo on 5 more great games.
Candid
from
dialogue
Deep Silver
is-
and others.
Yes.
We'll share more about this lineup very soon.
Nice. What else is coming?
Nice.
The metaverse is constantly evolving.
Metaverse.
So one of the most important aspects will be live service games that launch updates and new downloadable content regularly, like Echo VR, Beat Saber, Onward, Pistol Whip, and more. We're focused on this a lot right now, making sure games can build out active communities. Beat Saber has a passionate community.
There you go, man.
I love Beat Saber.
So do I. And Beat Saber just passed $100 million
Oh, I
in
love Beat
lifetime
Saber.
revenue on Quest alone. It's a great example of a game that keeps releasing fresh content. They've actually been working on evolving the way that you interact with the tracks and feel the music. Also, the team has been working on something really cool. Check this out.
Oh, here we go, man. Just for you.
I can't wait to play this. And they keep partnering with incredible artists to line up of
I
artists
could
for
guess
2022.
if I had to.
And there's
I
one
guess
more
I have to
epic
guess.
surprise before the end of the year. So stay tuned. Okay, have you played Population 1?
I mean, yeah, I love the game
Well,
so much that
For those who haven't, Population 1 is a thrilling battle royale that is only possible in VR. Since its launch at Connect last year, it has become one of the highest earning games on Quest and the biggest multiplayer FPS on the platform. You can have up to 24 people in at once for a match. We're super excited to keep launching big updates, like an all-new autumn event later in November and a Winter Wonderland update in December.
I mean, they have been killing it with updates.
Chat's killing me.
I know.
Oh, it's so funny, dude.
The dialogue is painful, though.
Okay, here's something I know our community has been waiting for.
lay it on us.
All right, this is a title from the Warp Frog team. This is the team that set the standard for VR combat physics when it launched on Rift in 2019. That's right, Blade and Sorcery Nomad, the built for VR medieval fantasy sandbox that pairs magic with melee, is launching on Quest later this year.
This is the one I knew was coming. But you see that Nomad name in there, so what are we losing? For starters, graphics.
I feel bad for any indie developer who's been making a physics-based combat game that'll just get overshadowed by the popularity of this title.
That's true, for sure.
They've been like making it happen while this hasn't existed, and now this is gonna come out and it'll just be the most popular one
For more
instantly.
gaming updates,
Quest 2
look out
only.
for the 2022 Oculus Gaming Showcase. It's going to be loaded with news you won't want to miss. But Mark, I believe you have some news for us as well.
Yeah, you know, I have to say, it's really impressive to see this lineup come together over the last few years, but there's one project that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, this is one of the all-time greats, and we've been working for years to bring it to Quest.
I'm excited to announce that the Rockstar Games classic Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is in development for Quest 2. This new version of what I think is one of the greatest
What?
games ever made.
I mean,
will
they
offer
are
players an
picking the
entirely
best
new way
possible
to experience
titles.
this iconic
Bro.
world in virtual reality.
Oh, but
That's it, Mark.
it's like so
I'm moving
much
to the metaverse.
nostalgia
All right,
driven.
thanks,
Like,
Deb. This is gonna be amazing.
I would
Now,
love a new
a lot
IP,
of the most
but that's
interesting
big.
games out there
That's
take
pretty
advantage of how you
epic.
can move around physically. Being able to look anywhere, move freely, it's
That's
just a
so
fundamentally
fucking
different
epic.
experience from staring at a screen. This quality of being physically embodied,
Dude, that is
and
so
able to
epic.
interact with the world and
Do you know how
move
many
around
people are gonna play
inside it,
VR because of that?
opens up some completely new experiences.
I mean, it's one of, they're like picking the memes, man. like,
And one example
these
that
games that
appears
we
to
know
take
are
off
staying alive forever. Like,
Oh.
Speaking of that,
well, the Quest can
Bro.
run 15-year-old games. Get the best ones.
a lot of
God,
you
he
are
looks
already
so
using
weird in that
VR
Yeah, he
transition.
does. Yeah, that
It
was
lets you
really
work out
weird.
in some completely new ways. It's kind of like a Peloton, but instead of a bike, you just have your VR headset, and with it, you can do anything from boxing lessons to sword fighting to
Like
even
Grand Theft
dancing.
Auto is like, that's the game that like gets people to pick up a controller. There's some people that will like only
You'll be
play
able to
that.
work out in
You
new
know.
worlds, even against an AI.
Yeah, we knew workout stuff is coming too, because that's the best way to keep people using their Quest. It's one of the issues right now. People don't play their Quest very long. So, working out is a reason to come back every day. They're trying to increase the stickiness, and they know fitness is one of the major ways.
Dude, it is 100% because it's
Maybe you'll get some
uncomfortable.
friends
You're
together
literally
for some
wearing a
3-on-3.
brick on your face. If it was like light and easy to wear, you could go hours without having to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I used to do cardio in my index, no problem. But I agree. That extra little pain on your face will be a deterrent. Be like, nah, I don't want to do this.
Yep. And that's like anything, like a good pair of headphones. If I'm wearing comfortable headphones, I can stay on a call for like 3 hours, 4 hours. But if I'm wearing headphones that are hurting my ears after like an hour, it's like, dude, I gotta go. Like, I gotta go do something. Like comfort is so important.
Lee Keeper, Olympic gold medalist.
On guard. Fence. Don't be scared to attack. You seem like a natural.
Whoa. All right, that's a little too realistic. See you
Oh,
later,
yeah,
Lee.
sure.
That was fun.
Good job, Mark.
I mean, it's like this kid's sci-fi version of
And
what
that's
VR
what
is.
fitness will
I
be
mean, it
like
could
in
be
the
this one
metaverse.
day, but this isn't.
I think we're going to see a lot
not
more
there.
unique experiences emerging around fitness that take advantage of the full immersion in interactive training. Speaking of which, Supernatural just added boxing to its lineup. FitXR has new fitness studios coming next year. And Player 22 by Rezel, which is currently used by pro athletes, is adding guided and hand-tracked bodyweight exercises soon. We're making a fitness accessories pack that makes Quest 2 more comfortable.
And they all have
with
subscriptions.
controller grips for when things get a bit intense, and a facial interface that you can wipe the sweat off of, making your sessions more comfortable. And that's all coming next year.
He's got too many.
But enough with the fun and games. It's time for everyone's favorite: work. Over
Oh,
the
yeah.
last year and a half, a lot of us work offices have gone remote.
Work.
And while I miss
Turn
some of
this
the
off.
people I work with, I think remote work is here to stay for a lot of people. So we're going to need better tools to work together. Let's take a look at what working in the metaverse will be like. Imagine if you could be at the office without the commute. You would still have that sense of presence, shared physical space, those chance interactions that make your day all accessible from anywhere. Now imagine that you have your perfect work setup and you can actually do more than you could in your regular work setup. And on top of all that, you can keep wearing your favorite sweatpants.
It's gonna be like
Let's get together
Wally.
real quick for a
Everyone's
debrief.
fat in a floating chair, in sweatpants.
I'm free now. Let's jump in. Hi.
Hey.
So what do we think?
I think it's ready.
Great.
I'll prep it for the presentation.
All right. Good luck.
I mean, this is like MCU Tony Stark
Imagine a
tech
space
they're
where you
showing.
can tune out distractions and focus on the task at hand. And when you're ready to share what you've been working on, you can present it as if you're right there with the team.
Wait, where's Mark?
I think he's
Imagining all kinds of stuff. I imagine Total Recall.
You can already see some of these elements in Horizon workrooms, which we launched a couple of months ago. Later this year, we plan to introduce room customization, so you can put your own logos and posters in your workrooms. We're also introducing a new office space in Horizon Home, for when you want your perfect workspace to do some focused work or just cross a few things off your to-do list. We're also announcing 2D progressive web apps for the Quest Store, and as a new developer frameworks, they're easier to build. So you can drop in and check on a work project while you're in VR using services like Dropbox, Slack, or stay connected with Facebook and Instagram. This starts bringing more of your 2D internet services into the metaverse. And as we focused more on work, and
What's up,
frankly,
VR
as we've
Central?
heard your
We
feedback
are
more broadly,
something with this
we're
event
working
right
on
now.
making it so you can log into Quest with an account other than your personal Facebook account. We're starting to test support for work accounts soon, and we're working on making a broader shift here within the next year. I know this is a big deal for a lot of people. Not everyone wants their social media profile linked to all these other experiences, and I get that, especially as the metaverse expands. And I'll share more about that later. But I'm
We'll just
genuinely
brush over that.
optimistic about work in the metaverse. We know from the last couple of years that a lot of people can effectively work from anywhere. But hybrid is going to be a lot more complex, when some people are together and others are still remote. So giving everyone the tools to be present, no matter where they are, whether as a hologram sitting next to you in a physical meeting or in a discussion taking place in the metaverse, that's going to be a game changer.
The acknowledgement
I
is
think
more
this could
than
be very
we've
positive
gotten yet.
for our society and economy. Giving people access to jobs.
We
and
know you're
places,
concerned about
no matter
privacy.
where they live,
Moving
will
on.
be a big deal for spreading
Well, it's more
opportunity
like
to more people.
we know you don't want to use your
Dropping our
Facebook
daily
account.
commutes
Yeah.
will mean less time stuck in traffic and more time doing things that matter.
Like,
It'll be good
and?
for the environment.
And?
Actually, if you travel for work and working in the metaverse means that you just take one less flight each year, that's probably better than almost anything else that you can do for the environment.
This inspiring music
I
is
think
turning my
working in
stomach.
the metaverse is going
Yeah,
to feel
because
like a
they're
huge
like,
step
oh, the
forward.
metaverse is going
And
to
these
save the
dynamics, like
environment.
the
No,
ability
it's
to
going to be filled with
teleport places
NFTs,
with
which are the
people
worst
and
thing for the
interact
environment.
around shared projects
It's-
in virtual space. They're going to be
Well, it's nice
valuable
music.
in a lot of other categories of experiences too. So now Marnie, our chief business officer, is going to take us through some of them.
Thanks, Mark. We'll see you in a minute. What if you could learn about anything in the world just by bringing it closer to you?
So
You can learn
we're gonna
about
have
anything
an
in the world by bringing it
astrophysicist
closer
in
to
the
you.
family.
Actually, I have to write this paper. Will you help me?
Let's take a closer look. What part of the solar system are we talking about?
Saturn.
If you were taking astrophysics, you could study in the metaverse.
Did you know the rings are made up of billions of icy particles?
Really?
Look at this.
Love these future tech glasses
You ready
that
to do
do
that paper now, right?
everything.
In the metaverse, you'll be able to teleport not just to any place, but any time as well. Ancient Rome. Imagine standing on the streets, hearing the sounds, visiting the markets, to get a sense of the rhythm of life over 2,000 years ago. Imagine learning how the forum was built by actually seeing the forum get built right in front of you. Hi, everyone. I'm Marnie Levine. In the metaverse, learning won't feel anything like the way we've learned before. With a headset or glasses, you'll be able to pull up schematics for your studying, or maybe even the service manual for a vehicle you're learning to repair.
There is a significance to
Let's
this.
say
Like,
you're a med
it is
student
coming
or
off cringy, but
apps like OSO VR,
if you went back
you can
20
learn
years or
new
so
techniques
and you
in
tried to
surgery
explain the
firsthand,
internet to people,
practicing until
you're
you
in
get
the
it right.
exact same type of scenario.
Or
You're like,
Totally.
oh, it's going to be this
Studying earth
interconnectivity, and you go to these
swim
pages
through
for
the Great
information, and
Barrier
you can
Reef,
learn, and you can
get
play
up
games
close
together,
to
and you can
Earth's
do all this.
mightiest insects.
So I get
With
this,
your
and back then it was a
instructor,
concept where
David
people couldn't really
Attenborough,
understand, a
whose
little bit
VR
more than
documentary
20
is
years.
playing now in
But it was a
Apple
concept people
TV.
couldn't understand. I mean, I grew up with billboard systems and AOL.
This is a world of
Right,
So-
and I mean, also
a
though,
world
is
of
that
wonder.
OC? Or I'm calling this
world
OC, but it's
hidden
like,
from
is
the
this a
human eye.
Connect thing? You know, like, isn't a Connect full of developers? Isn't it like all the community of people
No,
who
Connect
already
is now
know?
Metaverse.
This is just
Metaverse.
one of the
Well,
ways we're going to
I mean,
learn
I
in the
get that they
future.
want to make the announcement, you
But
know,
in
but
order
like
to get
maybe they
there,
should do that
we're
like
gonna
on
need to help
Facebook. Make it
build the
like
skill
iTunes
sets
when they attach
of
the
people
fucking
who build
YouTube
these
album to
experiences.
everyone's account.
So,
Just like boom,
we're
here you
setting
go. Here's
aside
your metaverse
$150
instruction
million
manual. You know,
to
like.
train the next generation of
But they're
creators
spending
to
they're
build
spending so much
immersive
money.
learning
They said they want to be a metaverse company. This is their future. This is going to be their main focus.
Using Spark AR, we're going to establish a professional curriculum and certification process.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Make it easier to monetize and put our Spark AR curriculum on Coursera and edX.
Thanks, Marnie. So that's a glimpse of the kinds of experiences that you might have in the metaverse. From connecting with friends, to gaming and entertainment, to work and education, and creation and commerce. Now, let's talk about how creators and developers are going to build all of this, and about the economy that we all need to create. The last few years have been humbling for me and our company in a lot of ways. One of the main lessons that I've learned is that building products isn't enough. We also need to help build ecosystems.
Yeah, there's the developer part
so that
later
millions
on.
of people can have a stake in the future, can be rewarded for their work, and benefit as the tide rises, not just as consumers, but as creators and developers. But this period has also been humbling because as big of a company as we are, we've also learned what it is like to build for other platforms. And living under their rules has profoundly shaped my views on the tech industry. Most of all,
This is making people buy indexes. That's what's going on right now.
high fees are stifling innovation, stopping people from building new things, and holding back the entire internet economy. We've tried to take a different approach. We want to serve as many people as possible, which means working to make our services cost less, not more. Our mobile apps are free. Our ads business model is an auction which guarantees every business the most competitive price possible. We offer our creator and commerce tools either at cost or with modest fees to enable as much creation and commerce as possible. And it's worked. Billions of people love our products. We have hundreds of millions of businesses on our platform, and we have a rapidly growing ecosystem and a thriving business. That's the approach that we want to take to help build the metaverse too. We plan to continue to either subsidize our devices or sell them at cost to make them available to more people. We'll continue supporting sideloading and linking to PCs so consumers and developers have choice rather than forcing them to use the Quest store to find apps or reach customers. And we'll aim to offer developer and creator services.
They're supporting
with
side
low
loading,
fees
but did you
in
see
as
if
many
you don't
cases as possible
put a phone number
so
on
we
your
can
account, it
maximize
disables
the
side loading on
overall
your
creator
Quest now?
economy, while recognizing that to keep
Five, five,
investing
five,
in this
five,
future,
five, five.
we'll need to keep
We
some
checked
fees
that number.
higher
It's
for
fake.
some
You
period
now lost
to
access
make
to
sure
all
that
your
we don't lose
games.
too
F
much
you.
money on this program overall. After all, while a growing number of developers are already profitable, we expect to invest many billions of dollars for years to come before the metaverse reaches scale. Our hope, though, is that if we all work at it, then within the next decade, the metaverse will reach 1 billion people, host hundreds of billions of dollars of digital commerce, and support jobs for millions of creators and developers. We'll try to lay out how some of this commerce model will work, but I also want to be upfront about the fact that there's a ton that we just don't know yet. What I can tell you, though, is that we are fully committed to this. It is the next chapter of our work, and we believe for the internet overall. And our strategy and track record show that we will do everything we believe is sustainable to grow the community, the creator economy, and the developer ecosystem.
Grow the company.
And to tell us more about all of that, here's Vishal, our head of Metaverse products.
Thanks, Mark. As you said, our approach is to serve as many people, creators, and businesses as we can by keeping fees as low as possible and offering choice. As a company, we have been investing in commerce and creators for many years. But let me take a moment and explain how this will all come to life in the metaverse. For people, the metaverse will offer more choice than we've ever seen before. And most importantly,
Where are
there'll
your
be a real
drinks,
sense of
Alex? They
continuity
said
where
metaverse.
the things you buy are always available.
Sorry, I passed out for
Today,
a second.
much of what you buy on the internet is
Oh.
inside a single app, website, or game. You might buy a custom skin for your gaming avatar, but you can't take it with you when you move to a new space. In the physical world, that would be the equivalent of buying your favorite sports team's jersey and never be able to wear it outside the stadium. In the future, you will be able to buy digital clothes for your avatar and then wear them into the metaverse more broadly. For creators, our goal is to provide a way for as many creators as possible.
That
to
whole
build a business
concept
in the
of, you know,
metaverse.
buy an item, own it, take it everywhere in the metaverse, I'm concerned about, because Facebook's going to want to try and monopolize that. If not, the other approach is NFTs, which, like I said, are terrible for the environment, and like gambling, and I don't think kids should be exposed to. I don't know.
They're like trying to like claim ownership of the term metaverse and actually call that like their own closed ecosystem. You know, like if you're not in, you're not taking something. Like I'm not gonna be able to take the shit that I bought in Beat Saber over to, you know.
Yeah, but I'm also concerned, like, if our lives become so digital, like people spend more time in a virtual environment than a real life, then like things in the virtual environment will become important to them, and it'll be like, you know, kids are shamed for not having cool avatars and stuff like that. When it's digital, like there's no reason we couldn't make 5 billion copies of it instantly. So charging for that and making people feel like that's important and that's what they need is no good. It's not good for their mental health. It's not good for the economy. Well, some people say it's good for the economy, but it's not good for like the bottom line of consumers' pocket. And you're paying for, you know, something that could be instantly reproduced. It's digital.
Well, these things are going to be digital and physical, right? Like I think the physical reality and digital reality are going to be blending quite a bit, and like you're going to buy a thing, but there's also going to be an NFT version of it, and you like kind of have both kind of situations. So I definitely see some of that happening.
Where she sells candles with scents like cuffing season and partners with major brands on makeup drops. So let's meet Jackie in her space.
And kids are going to do this stuff anyway. You know, like think about Pokemon cards. That's a piece of cardboard, you know, like can easily be reproduced. It's a piece of fucking paper, but you know, there's value skyrockets. And there's kids who wish they could be cool and have a whole binder full of Charizards like their rich friends, but they don't. And it doesn't stop these companies from making these kinds
I
of
think
products.
this is that. I think this is that on a worse level.
Always felt rejected, always felt
whatever.
So I got so frustrated that eventually I was like, you know what? Not only am I gonna like not listen to them, but I'm gonna show other people how I'm making it work with my skin tone too.
How did you go from creating content, creating videos, to a product? You just, you know, have a brand called Forever Mood. It's huge on Instagram shopping.
So Forever Mood was not only a bit of a love
What are we
letter
watching?
to me and my relationship with
I don't
mom.
know.
That's how we bond, was through fragrance ever since childhood. But it's been doing amazing, and we've actually been getting a lot of support.
I feel
space
the need to
is
get some
pretty
beauty
magical,
products.
and I know it kind of reflects the stuff you
Oh,
love.
now we
Tell
can
me a
get
bit
digital beauty products, so I have to make sure I put on my digital makeup every morning.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
don't
my
buy the
avatar
digital
looks
makeup.
ugly.
I love pastels. You can see it in the brand. You can see it like a lot of times in what I wear. With the metaverse, when we're curating collections or even just brainstorming, this would be a great way to like gather us all together and literally kind of create atmospheres and environments and moods to just kind of enhance creativity. And then if I can invite people, it would be like inviting them in my home. You know what I mean? It'd be like bringing them into a piece of me. So
But see, like I can't buy this right now because, like, okay, her thing is makeup. It doesn't transfer to the metaverse unless you create this true to life experience, which isn't happening anytime soon. So it's like
just a sensual scene. Am I wrong?
There's a lot of there was a lot of leg there. I'm not gonna
the
lie.
leg, the music. Like I'm getting in the mood.
Yeah.
It humanizes that person on the other end, you know, of that comment. And I think there's a really interesting opportunity to think about how we build community and how we engage with our fans in a really deep
I mean, they're
way.
making HTC look kind of good right now with this segment.
Imagine for your biggest fans, you could have an exclusive launch party
Making Pimax
where
look good.
anyone could visit, no matter where they were in the world.
Yes.
I love that because when we first launched the brand, everything was shut down because obviously quarantine, couldn't go anywhere. And I had this idea of doing like pop-ups for Forever Mood where we would have a room inspired by each scent.
And now, anyone from anywhere in the world could come and feel what you just described. Have that feeling, have that sense, really get into that mood. Also, you
The
have
problem is that, you know, they're talking about presence, they're talking about sense. That's one of my biggest complaints about the Quest 2, that the hardware is lacking and I don't feel presence and I don't feel like I'm there compared to PC VR. So their hardware needs to kick up first before, you know, they start selling this. Because right now the best we have is the corny cartoon avatars from Horizons.
You'll be able to sell both digital and physical products. The butterfly effect transports us someplace magical.
You're mind blown.
Whoa.
Look at his face.
So beautiful.
So Jackie, as we walk through this amazing world, what does the metaverse mean to you?
I just feel like this is like endless possibilities with my imagination.
I can't even begin to imagine how meaningful the metaverse will be thanks to creators like you.
That's a what the Zuck moment.
There's a lot here to be excited about. Just like the internet today, more people are going to have the freedom to find a business model that works for them, whether that's custom work, tipping, subscriptions, ads, or other monetization tools that may only make sense in the metaverse. Now think about how many people...
For us gamers out there right now, to catch you up, Blade and Sorcery Nomad is coming to Quest at some point in time. And they're working on GTA San Andreas for the Quest 2. That's it?
Dude, I hope they knock that out of the park, man. Like, get rid of all that, like, Resident Evil style immersion breaking bullshit and just kill it. Like, please.
I don't know, man. It's really, like, without redoing a whole game, it's hard to get rid of those cutscenes.
So now Boz is going to join us to talk about what people are already building for the metaverse and what kinds of tools we can create.
This is way more metaverse than I thought.
Hey Boz, I'm still kind of jealous of your robot avatar.
Yeah, man, you gotta have the robot when you're working your dance moves, right?
I mean, of course.
Look, Mark, we've been working on Facebook Reality Labs for a long time, but we always kept the same.
Facebook cringe necked.
Build tools that help people feel connected anytime, anywhere, and that vision is what drives us today, to help people get together in virtual spaces. We've come a long way since the early days of VR, thanks to the developers and the creators who see the potential to entertain and to educate. But of course, we still have a lot farther to go. So to keep the pace of innovation moving faster and empower more use cases, we do have a few exciting announcements.
Today, we're introducing the Presence platform, which is a broad range of machine perception and AI capabilities that empower developers to build mixed reality experiences on Quest 2. Now, you want to tell us more about the Presence platform?
Yeah, we've said before that realistic presence is the key to feeling connected in the metaverse. And the Presence platform's capabilities are what's going to deliver on that promise. Things like environmental understanding, content placement and persistence, voice interaction, standardized hand interactions. In fact, let's start with hands. I mean, the human hand is an engineering marvel, and bringing hands into VR was no easy feat. It required a lot of collaboration against product, design, research, but we continue to improve that product, finding new ways to navigate with gestures and interact with VR. So today, we're introducing the Interaction SDK, a library of modular components that will make it easy to add hand interactions to your apps.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, we really think this is going to help people accelerate the build time for new and existing titles that allow people to use their hands more naturally
cool.
in more virtual
It is definitely cool, but it's not exciting. Like, it's one of those things where, like, you don't appreciate it. Like, when it happens and it works, you're like, wow, this is cool. But when people talk about it, you don't appreciate the work going in and stuff. You just want it, you want to see it, you want to experience it.
And shake up your routine just by
I would enjoy hand tracking in some apps just for, like, quality of life as a creator sometimes. You know, like, I have, like, my headset at my desk and I'm, like, going through the menu to do stuff, you know, like, it would be nice to be able to pop into some games and still be able to do stuff with my hands.
Yeah, that type of standardization would be nice.
Now, of course, access to pass-through by itself is not enough. To achieve that rich mixed reality experience, apps also need to be aware of things in the room and, you know, blend the virtual objects with the physical environment around them so they can coexist in the same space. So developers want to be able to place, you know, persistent world-locked content like animated holograms or your Instagram feed in your real space. And tools like spatial anchors and scene understanding capabilities will help make these mixed reality experiences feel seamless. Now, I'd gladly nerd out with you on the technical details of this with you.
I know.
But I think it's better to show you.
I know.
Load the world beyond. This is Oppie. Oppie, come on, Oppie. Who is a good persistent state virtual object layered on an interactive pass-through environment? Oh, you are. Yes, you are. Oppie, sit. Pets in the metaverse, man. Just as stubborn as they are in the physical world.
You know, Boz, I always really wanted a forest in my living room.
Did you?
Not really. I'm looking forward to how developers are going to be able to build a new generation of mixed reality experiences on Quest 2. And it also gives us a glimpse of
The
kind of
cringe.
worlds that people are
It's
gonna
like a
be able to
knife turning in my
Now
stomach.
let's talk about
The
augmented reality.
chat
With
is
Spark, we really focused on these use
just,
cases
you
that allow
know,
people to both
losing
stay
it.
engaged with the world around them, but also stay connected to the people that they're not around. And creators are really leading the way here. And we're doing everything we
Why
can
do
to
they have
support
to be
them
so
with our
inauthentic?
know-how, with our resources, and of course,
Well, you know
Like,
what it
why
is?
can't they just go like the Carmack route and just fucking walk out with your laptop and be like, "What's up, assholes? So here's the deal."
Because I don't know.
Spark AR is focused on
Well,
building
Spark
AR
AR. I'm not
experiences
super
that
excited, but
empower
I don't want to talk over too much of this.
and at the same
But
time,
I mean,
more
they're not
present with the
actors,
world
and
around
it just shows.
and creators
And
are helping us build these experiences
like,
today.
I mean, you're right. I do appreciate the John Carmack approach, but some people don't like that.
AR creation and enabling a global
I don't know.
community
It's painful. For me, it
and
is.
knowledge necessary.
Yeah,
to
the plot
develop the
twist
AR
is that this
content
is
and
exactly what
experiences
they're
that
like in
people
real
love
life.
to use. Programs like AR Curriculum enrolled over 22,000 creators in less than a year, and we're adding additional programming to support more advanced creators. And the depth and breadth of content would not be possible without these creators. In 1 week alone, you'll see effects that bring moments like landing on Mars or the launch of a new album to life, all by tapping
Wow,
into everyone's
it's like you're on Mars.
We're also powering experiences across Facebook. So imagine playing that AR Battleship game from your phone with a friend in the metaverse or on an augmented call. How cool, right?
Like,
Right
are we
now,
jaded? Like,
we
that's
have
what I was
over
saying earlier. It's like, I'm not
600,000
trying to be a
creators in our
dick. You know what I mean?
with
Yeah.
Like,
diverse
I don't want to
needs and
just sit here and
motivations
just
for
like rag
using
on this
AR
and like talk
to
smack
engage
the
with their
entire time,
fans
but
and
like,
audiences.
Well,
that's
I
what-
think a
I
lot
feel
of
like
people, yeah,
100
like a lot of
million
people here like
monthly
us are
across the
interested in the
Facebook
gaming
family
aspect of it,
are already using AR
and the
a ton.
potential of what the
We see
metaverse
over
can be.
80
We
billion
know
effects
it's there,
applied
but we're
per
more
month.
practical. We're
And
like,
more will be
okay,
even
you have to do
easier for
X, Y, Z before you get there. The stuff they're describing are 5, 10, 15 years out. It's like, okay, well, I didn't come here, you know, to get excited for 15 years from now. 15 years from now, I'm going to be 55. I'm not even going to be able to play VR anymore.
Yeah,
I'm going to use diapers.
That's it. Yeah,
Creators
you're in
whose first
diapers
love might
for
be
sure.
photography, video, or
Bedridden.
dance can enhance their content for their own special effects. And that's an important piece of this vision and this community.
It's all really relevant to VR, and this is all very cool potential future.
Well positioned to be a strong
It's just like we don't need to be like me and Alex don't need to be sold on this stuff. We understand the potential. We know what they can do.
and we want to make sure creators are ready.
Just give us
to
the cool
share
stuff
their
now. Like,
creativity
you know,
and
I want my
capitalize on this
dopamine levels to
emerging
spike.
opportunity from day one.
Thanks, Sue.
I know they could have let us
What's some of
chew
the
on San
software
Andreas a
platform
little
that needs to
longer.
get built to
Yeah,
deliver the
true.
metaverse?
Like, yeah,
But
San
there are
Andreas
other
anyway.
important considerations here too. Hey, Nick.
Hey, Mark. Hope I'm not interrupting. You got a sec? Have you got Oppie with you?
I think Oppie's still in the virtual forest, but I always have time for you. What's going on?
Look, I just love the presentation so far. It's such visionary stuff. But as you mentioned early on, with all big technological advances, there are inevitably going to be all sorts of challenges and uncertainties. And I know you've talked about this a bit already, but people want to know how we're going to do all this in a responsible way, and especially that we play our part in helping to keep people safe and protect their privacy online.
Yeah, that's right. This is incredibly important.
The way I look at it is that in the past, the speed that new technologies emerged sometimes left policymakers and regulators playing catch up. So on the one hand, companies get accused of charging ahead too quickly, and on the other, tech people feel that progress can't afford to wait for the slower pace of regulation. And I really think that it doesn't have to be the case this time round, because we have years until the metaverse we envision is fully realized. So this is the start of the journey, not the end.
Like I said earlier, interoperability, open standards, privacy, and safety need to be built into the metaverse from day one. And with all the novel technologies that are being developed, everyone who's building for the metaverse should be focused on building responsibly from the beginning. This is one of the lessons
Okay.
that I've internalized from the last 5 years. It's that you really want to emphasize these principles from the start. So at Connect last year, Boz outlined our responsible innovation principles, and the first one was never surprise people.
Right. And that means being transparent about how things work, what data is collected, and how that data is used over time. It also means giving people easy-to-use safety controls, as well as age guidance and parental controls for when youngsters are using these products.
And we're spending a lot of time talking with experts and getting perspectives from outside the company on what we're building, even before we build it. And this is about designing for safety and privacy and inclusion before the products even exist. And one example is what we're doing with Project Aria, our research device that helps inform the AR glasses that we're building. We're also funding external research on this. You know, last year we announced grants for research on the impact of AR, VR, and smart devices on people who aren't currently using them, especially communities whose perspectives have often been overlooked, as well as best practices for creating inclusive environments in virtual spaces. And this year, we're opening up support for even more research because we need those independent perspectives to make sure that we're living up to another one of our principles, consider everyone.
And that point is so important because this is a collaborative exercise. And in particular, we need to make sure the human rights and civil rights communities are involved. So these technologies are built in a way that's inclusive and empowering.
One of the advantages of starting right now is that we can collaborate with people at the very early stages of development, like what we're doing through the new fund that you announced a few weeks ago.
Yeah, the XR Programs and Research Fund. It's a 2-year, $50 million investment in programs and external research with organizations all over the world, like Howard University, Women in Immersive Tech, Africa No Filter, and universities in Seoul, Hong Kong, and
So
Singapore.
imagine you flew out to Oculus Connect
Because as we've said, the
and you
metaverse
spent an hour and
isn't
20
something
minutes so
we're
far
building
listening to this.
so much as it's something we're building for.
Across the industry, we need to bring that same imagination and commitment to building for interoperability, openness, safety, and privacy, as we do for all the other
Buzzwords,
products
buzzwords,
in the
buzzwords.
metaverse. These
Trust
have
us.
to be fundamental building blocks, just like the other software and experiences that we've been talking about.
Right.
All right, thanks, Nick. So, one thing that we haven't talked about much
Shuts
yet
him off.
is the future of hardware that will help bring the metaverse to
I
life.
do end my calls
We're
like
working
that.
on multiple new products
I'm like, great,
to advance the state
done.
of the art,
Like, I got
unlock
places
richer
to go.
social interactions, and make it a lot easier to be productive. That must be Angela, our head of VR devices.
Oh, devices. Let's go.
Hey, Angela.
Hey, Mark.
Is that what I think it is?
I sure hope it is.
All right, come on in.
It's in a military grade protected case. And of course, they're going to leave it there for 10
The
minutes.
most exciting thing that we're working on right now.
That's hard to say. You know, we have such an exciting pipeline. But next year, we are releasing a new product that'll push the boundaries of VR
Next
even
year.
further.
Yep.
We've codenamed it Project Cambria.
So this isn't the next Quest. It's going to be compatible with Quest, but Cambria will be a completely new, advanced, and high-end product, and it'll be at the higher end of the price spectrum too. Our plan here is to keep building out this product line to release our most advanced technology before we can hit the price points that we target with Quest. All right, so let's talk about some of the new advances here.
Yeah, sure. There's a ton of new tech going into Cambria. For example, your avatar will be able to make natural eye contact and reflect your facial expressions in real time. This way, people you're interacting with will have a
In
real sense
Horizon?
of how you're actually feeling. It does mean building more sensors into a form factor that's comfortable to wear for a while. And because we want VR to be for everyone, we also have to make sure avatars represent a diverse set of human facial features and skin tones, as well as paying attention to things like glasses and beards that might get in the way of some of the sensors.
So that's going to be a big step forward for social presence, and I'm really glad that we're focused on making it inclusive from the start. Now, what about unlocking more mixed reality experiences? I mean, imagine working at your virtual desk with multiple screens while seeing your real desk so clearly that you can pick up a pen and write notes without taking your headset off. Or, you're doing a workout with a virtual instructor in your living room.
It's going to be so cool. We're already seeing the potentials of these kinds of experiences today as people are building for our pass-through API. But with Cambria, we'll be taking this to the next level with high resolution, colored, mixed reality pass-through. We essentially combine an array of sensors with reconstruction
So they
algorithms
introduce it
to
as the
represent
code
your
name,
physical
and then are going
world
to change the
in a
name
headset
later.
with a sense of depth and perspective.
When the
Now,
marketing
we're
team figures
still
out a good
ways
name.
away from exactly matching what our eyes see in the physical world, but we're pretty encouraged by how far we've been able to advance the pass-through experience so far.
Definitely, but we also need to push the visuals to the next level. So let's talk about the progress that we're making on optics.
Yeah, we're pushing the limits of display technology and form factor with something called pancake optics. They essentially work by folding light several times over to achieve a slimmer profile than current lenses. Now, with several optical layers, we'll need to precisely control every aspect of design and fabrication to achieve that high-quality, artifact-free display and really just deliver the best optics ever in one of our headsets.
That's pretty awesome. But let's make sure that we leave some of the good stuff for next year's release too. All right, now I'm excited to keep building out this new product line over future generations so we can keep getting our most advanced technology into people's hands even before we can get it into our Quest product line.
That's our goal. We're starting to work with developers to build experiences for Cambria as we speak, and we're looking forward to sharing so much more with y'all next year.
Sounds good. Now, beyond virtual reality, we are also focused on the hardware to make true augmented reality possible. In a lot of ways, augmented reality is even harder, not just because we need to invent a completely new optical stack that's not based on screens, but because we basically need to fit a supercomputer into a pair of normal-looking glasses. So we're approaching this problem from two directions. First, how much technology can we pack into a pair of normal, great-looking glasses today? And second, how do we take the long-term tech stack to do everything and keep miniaturizing and improving it until it fits into a pair of normal, good-looking glasses? On the first path, last month we launched Ray-Ban Stories, our first smart glasses in partnership with EssilorLuxottica. They're not full AR glasses yet, but they let you take pictures and videos, listen to music, and take phone calls while you're out looking at the world instead of down at your phone. And we built leading privacy features into the glasses, like the LED light whenever you're recording, which phones don't even have. And we delivered this in the iconic Ray-Ban
You can kind of
style
notice though when someone's
for
pointing a
just
phone at you,
$2.99.
and I forget what country it is, but they said that little LED light is not enough to notify people they're being filmed, because in like sunlight you don't see the LED light.
And today I want to show you an
It
experience
doesn't
that
bother
we've
me,
been working
honestly.
on for Project Nazare, which
You're
is
allowed
the
to be
code
filmed
name
in
for our
public.
first full augmented reality glasses.
All right,
Here,
let's see
You'll
this.
see you're chatting with friends on WhatsApp and planning a game night. You can select a game, and then as you walk over to your kitchen, you can easily just put your game onto the table and you're off. And that's the kind of experience that augmented reality will unlock. There's a lot of technical work to get this form factor and experience right. We have to fit hologram displays, projectors, batteries, radios, custom
I
silicon
feel
chips,
like this is
cameras,
designed to be
sensors mount
pointed
the
at
world around you, and more.
investors who don't
glasses that are
understand the
5
potential of the
millimeters
metaverse. It's like we all know they can do this eventually with AR, and we can't wait
Yep.
for it, and we're really excited. But like you're showing me what can be done in a couple years from now.
But even that's
Cool.
still early in a journey that's
Yay.
going to go on for decades. Immersive all-day experiences will require a lot of novel technologies. And for the last 7 years, our research team has been working on a broad array of technologies that are necessary for these next-generation platforms. Michael Abrash leads this team, and he's going to join me to talk about some of the future technology that we're developing. Hey, Michael, do you want to take everyone through our roadmap?
Sure. That covers a lot of ground, though. It's going to take about a dozen major technological breakthroughs to get
He
to the
looks
next
smart.
generation metaverse. And we're
Sciencey.
working on all of them. Displays, audio, input, haptics, hand tracking, eye tracking, mixed reality, sensors, graphics, computer vision, avatars, perceptual science, AI, and more.
Yeah, you're right. That's a lot. We probably only have time for a couple right now. You want to pick a few?
Well, I think the metaverse is really going to be first and foremost about connecting people. So I'd say let's start with avatars.
Yeah, I agree. The goal here is to have
Yeah,
both
I
realistic
agree.
and stylized avatars that create a deep feeling.
I was thinking it. You said it. I mean, like, but I guess everyone else feels the same. It's just so unnatural.
What can your face do? Can you show us?
Well, I've always hoped you would ask me that question.
And it's a remarkable experience to see codec avatars in VR. and photorealistic avatars will be a huge breakthrough. But they're only part of the picture.
Yeah, because you're not always going to want to look exactly like yourself. That's why people shave their beards, dress up, style their hair, put on makeup, or get tattoos. And of course, you'll be able to do all of that and more in the metaverse.
So this next video shows how we're making progress on part of that with hair and skin rendering and relighting for 3D avatars.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, it's all awesome stuff. That's freaky.
I think she was interested into.
Now, I want to point out this technology is still very definitely research, but it shows
Very
the
definitely
really high
research,
level
see?
of fidelity that avatars are ultimately going to need to reach. Notice that you can see the individual pores on his skin. Now, clothing is another important way to express yourself. And whether you want to simulate your actual garments, say you're making a quick call with your grandmother, or maybe you just want to be wearing a stylish blue Oxford shirt like me, you're going to need the ability
Give myself
to
a
simulate
six-pack.
clothing. So here's an early look at hand-cloth interaction. And you can see how the movement of the cloth when the hand touches and stretches it is really remarkably accurate.
Now, to use your avatar to teleport to a meeting or sit down for a chat in the metaverse, you'll also need realistic virtual spaces to be with people in. So let's look at that. Contrary to how this looks, this is actually not a video of the physical world. It's a 3D reconstruction of a mock apartment, which I guess just became clear when that bowl took off by itself.
Exactly. So what you can
That's
see
not real?
here is that a researcher is moving around various objects on the right, and then on the left you can see the high fidelity real-time rendering of the space in the moving objects on the left without the researcher. So what's critical here
As
is
much
that
ball
this is
breaking
all
as we
happening
do.
in real time.
I mean, this
That's
is
phenomenal,
really
and that's what
impressive stuff,
differentiates it
and
from
this takes so
VR.
much time, money, and
So
effort.
What we've seen so far is pretty awesome, but we all know what we
But you're
want.
selling
We
us the
want
future
whole
still.
package, a full
And
body
we've seen Ready
avatar,
Player One. We know it's possible.
so you're just there. Last year, we showed our very first full-body codec avatar at Connect. Here to tell you more about our progress since then is Yasser Sheikh.
Hi there. My name is Yasser, and I direct the Facebook Reality Research Lab in Pittsburgh. Well, that's not completely true. What you're seeing is actually a rendering of my pre-recorded codec avatar.
Sweet.
Over the past couple of years, we've made quite a bit of progress with codec avatars. My avatar can now look left, look right, look up, look down, make facial expressions.
Here, you can see Elaine is in VR on the right. You can see her view of Yasser's avatar and the reconstructed real-world space that it's in on the left as she moves around the avatar. What you see on the left is an entirely virtual reconstruction.
Wow.
This gives you a sense of a future in which you'll be
Notice
able to
they're using a
interact
riff,
with another
though.
person's realistic avatar in virtual reality in real time. Now, preventing others from using your avatar will be critical. That's why, even though this is early stage research, we're already thinking about how we could secure your avatar, whether by tying it to an authenticated account or by verifying identity in some other way.
All right, so we've talked about what we're going to be able to see, but of course we also want to be able to actually do things in the metaverse. And while seeing your hands in VR and manipulating virtual objects is a big step forward towards that, then we're going to need an even easier and more intuitive way to interact with virtual content when you're on the go wearing AR glasses. And we believe that neural interfaces are going to be an important part of how we interact with AR glasses. And more specifically, EMG input from the muscles on your wrist combined with contextualized AI. It turns out that we all have unused neuromotor pathways, and with simple and perhaps even imperceptible gestures, sensors will one day be able to translate those neuromotor signals into digital commands that enable you to control
May
your
someday
devices.
be able
It's
to
pretty wild.
transmit those
So,
signals.
let's take a look at what EMG input is going to be able to do and where we are with it today.
This video shows some of the ways that we think that wrist-based neural interfaces can provide an important input tool for AR glasses. So at first, that input is going to just be around enabling basic gestures, click, scroll, select. But as the technology evolves, EMG input could potentially unlock full-speed typing, and it could give you subtle, personalized controls that you can use in any situation. This is genuinely unprecedented technology. So let's look at an early prototype that shows how it could be used in AR. This experimental UI shows for the first time how EMG input could one day allow you to send a message in AR with your hand resting comfortably at your side without ever having to look at a screen. Notice how the researcher used an overt and highly visible click gesture to send the first message. We've made a lot of progress over the last year, and we're now able to do the same thing with the smallest of movements of the hand. EMG enables this by picking up subtle neuromotor commands with remarkable precision.
It is pretty impressive.
Basically what you're saying is that you're going to be able to send a text message just by thinking about moving your fingers. That's going to be pretty amazing. But I guess it's just one part of the equation, because the other is AI that understands your context and can give you a simple set of choices based on that context. So
this type of technology takes a while to get right, but when it is right, it feels like magic.
Live maps that we talked about last year.
Like, I've used the brain interface, and it's cool stuff.
We've indexed every single object in it, including not only location, but also the texture, geometry, and function of each one. We fed all that information into the Project Aria glasses Mingfei is wearing in this next demo.
And the reason is to simulate how AR glasses will ultimately be able to access data from a 3D map that will help them identify the real-world objects in the space around you and better understand your context so they can help you.
What's happening here is that the glasses are calculating where Mingfei is in the room, locating and identifying all the nearby objects based on the index mentioned earlier, and figuring out which of those objects Mingfei is interested in by observing her eye movements. That contextual information, in turn, enables the system to offer proactive assistance to Mingfei in a variety of ways.
Proactive advertising to Mingfei in a variety of ways.
So when she clicks
At the same time, how much of this information is collected and tracked, and now, you know, they
All
know
of
the
it.
exact layout of your house, and they start selling this information to the government.
They know how often you look at your fridge, and the second you look at your door or the handle of the fridge, they just like start spamming you with like McDonald's ads.
You open the fridge and you can't see the real food in there. It's just showing you things to order.
Showing you the phone number for
It
pizza.
might highlight the location in her glasses.
Really, it's an early look at the sort of intuitive, low-friction interface that AI plus EMG input will enable in the future. This is how we'll all be interacting one day.
Thanks, Michael. That was awesome. All right, so I hope that that gives you a sense of some of the technical challenges that we're working on to deliver deep and immersive experiences in the metaverse. A lot of what we've shown today isn't going to be available in the next year or two. Some of this is still a long way off. But this is some of the most exciting stuff that I've ever gotten to work on, and I'm just incredibly energized to be on this journey with all of you. And there's one more thing that I want to tell you about today.
Come on. See, this is why I don't get excited.
They
in
never
life
opened
anymore.
that black case, by the way.
Yeah, we know.
And it's the next chapter for our company too. So I've been thinking a lot about what this means for our company and who we are as we embark on this journey. We're a company that focuses on connecting people. While most other tech companies focus on how people interact with technology, we focus on building technology so people can interact with each other. One of the reasons I started Facebook was that at the time you could use the internet to find almost anything.
Even that chick that you
news, movies,
were
music,
trying to hook up with
shopping,
at the party.
except for the thing that matters most of all, people. Today, we are seen as a social media company. But in our DNA, we are a company that builds technology to connect people. And the metaverse is the next frontier, just like social networking was when we got started. Facebook was born in a specific time and place, a college campus, the web. It was what we could build at the time to put people back into our experience of technology. But connecting people was always much bigger. From way earlier on, I remember sitting in middle school classes, sketching in my notebooks, ideas that I wanted to code when I got home. And even though I didn't have the skill or technology to build it yet, it was always clear that the dream was to feel present with the people we care about. Isn't that the ultimate
The green screen studio, he's on a treadmill right now.
together with anyone, to be able to teleport anywhere and to create and experience anything? Yet here we are in 2021, and our devices are still designed around apps, not people. The experiences we're allowed to build and use are more tightly controlled than ever. And high taxes on creative new ideas are stifling. This is not the way that we are meant to use technology. The metaverse gives us an opportunity to change that if we build it well. But it's going to take all of us, creators, developers, companies of all sizes. Together, we can finally put people at the center of our technology and deliver an experience where we are present with each other. Together, we can create a more open platform with more ways to discover experiences and more interoperability between them. And together, we can unlock a massively bigger creative economy. I know the internet story isn't straightforward. Every chapter means new voices and new ideas, and yes, there will be challenges and risks and disruption of established interests. But there will also be opportunities and benefits that we can't even imagine yet. For connection, for creation, for learning, and joy. We'll all need to work together from the beginning to bring the best possible version of this future to life. A future where, with just a pair of glasses, you will be able to step beyond the physical world and into the kinds of experiences that we have talked about today. I've been thinking a lot about our identity as we begin this next chapter. Facebook is one of the most used products in the history of the world. It is an iconic social media brand. But increasingly, it just doesn't encompass everything that we do. Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, Quest, now Horizon, Nazare, and more. Building our social media apps will always be an important focus for us. But right now, our brand is so tightly linked to one product that it can't possibly represent everything that we're doing today, let alone in the future.
Here comes the name
Over
change.
time, I hope that we are seen as a metaverse company. And I want to anchor our work and our identity on what we are building towards. We just announced that we are making a fundamental change to our company. We're now looking at and reporting on our business as two different segments. One for our family of apps, and one for our work on future platforms. And as part of this, it is time for us to adopt a new company brand to encompass everything that we do. To reflect who we are and what we hope to build, I am proud to announce that starting today, our company is now Meta. Our mission remains the same. It's still about bringing people together. Our apps and their brands, they're not changing either. And we are still the company that designs technology around people. But now we have a new North Star to help bring the metaverse to life.
The name is gonna catch on, but
The full breadth of what we do and the future that we want to help build. From now on, we're going to be metaverse first, not Facebook first. That means that over time, you won't need to use Facebook to use our other services. And as our new brand starts showing up in our products, I hope that people come to know the Meta brand and the future that we stand for.
yeah, you won't need a
I used to
Facebook
love
account. You'll
studying
just need a
processes,
Meta
and
account.
The word meta comes from the Greek word meaning beyond. For me, it symbolizes that there is always more to build. There's always a next chapter.
Is it possible that the
for
future
us,
with Zuckerberg
it's a
is
story
not
that
dystopian?
started in a
Like, is it possible, you know, that like
beyond
maybe
anything we could imagine.
it does open up,
Into a family
right?
of
Like
apps that
maybe
people
it
use
is
to find one
beautiful
another,
and
to find their
we're able to
voice,
do it all.
to start businesses and communities and movements that have changed the
No,
world.
I mean, like,
I'm proud of what we've built so far.
maybe call me
and
cynical,
excited
call
about
me
what
jaded,
comes
whatever.
next as we move
But it
beyond
just
what's possible today, beyond the
history repeats itself, and the company has repeatedly shown, and it's not like a Zuckerberg problem. It's not a like, it's like at their core at this point. There's so many people involved in this, just making selfish decisions in the best interest of the company alone. But that's capitalism in general. Your decisions are all about the company, your entity. That's fine, I get it, but no, with so much power, no, of course not. It's gonna be abused.
and help build the next chapter. I am dedicating our
And now
energy to
I'm
this more than
censored.
any
They're
other
gonna censor
company in
me.
the world. And if this is the future that you want to see, then I hope that you will join us, because the future is going to be beyond anything we can imagine.
It's gonna be meta. That's the whole thing? Hi. You're just gonna smile?
Wow, wow, wow. I hope everyone was sitting down for that
So,
announcement.
I'm gonna cut her off for a minute, but I feel like Oculus Connect has been hijacked by Facebook.
Yeah.
and now it's all metaverse, which we kind of knew, but let's see if this is going anywhere.
A way to kick things off. And now to you, our community of creators, developers, and friends. Welcome to Connect 2021. I'm Melinda Davenport. As we know, Connect has gone virtual for the second year in a row, and here at Meta, we want to say that we hope everyone is doing well and staying safe, and we just can't wait to connect IRL just as soon as we can. You know, in my time as internal comms director at Meta, I've learned that Connect is one of the most anticipated events of our year, and that epic blockbuster.
The funny thing is, I was like dead on with my predictions. Eric asked what predictions were today. I said we're gonna get hardware teas, metaverse in full capitals. We're gonna get the announcement of at least one unexpected game, probably more. And I just expected they would drop release dates for like Medal of Honor, after the fall. I expected those release dates to drop, but
that
I guess
might
not.
still come. I mean, the keynote might have been like a completely different thing. You know, like before it was like keynote was like bam, 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 bam. Now maybe it's like keynote and then
Developer State of the Union. Let's see. But I gotta say, like, I understand in life why I don't get excited anymore, because I was excited just to have it pooped on.
For an exciting conversation with one of
Change
the
over to
world's
this screen.
most influential developers, John Carmack will be joining us unscripted to share his latest thoughts and ideas on development.
I love John Carmack unscripted.
Done with John just yet, because he will then take questions live in a Horizon Worlds from a select audience, a Q&A that will broadcast right here on the Reality Labs
I feel like we're talking more now, so I can take the focus off the screen a little bit.
Perhaps not quite as out of this world as the incredible VR spacewalk from the
she's a much better
International
presenter than
Space
anyone else
Station
so
that will
far.
provide the exclamation point on Connect 2021. So be sure to stick with us. Now, this year, you can actually enjoy Connect your way, as we've personalized the entire Connect experience. So starting right now, all of the on-demand sessions you've been demanding are unlocked and ready to stream on the Reality Labs page. So connect with any sessions you want, when you want. Interested in AR tech?
They're just like
Expanding your
recorded
community?
Zoom calls.
Optimizing development?
Yeah.
All of the above? Trust me, whether you're brand new to VR or a seasoned pro, we'll have a session for you. We'll even provide a few recs.
So investors and stockholders are happy because they changed their names, so you know people can hate on Facebook less, because like, you know, 5 years from now people forget that Meta is Facebook, and they showed us the potential of the future.
Page. That Reality Labs page is the hub for all things Connect. Also, for you VR enthusiasts, just like last year, today's streams will also be viewable in venues, so you could kick back in the theater and
Watching it in VR would not make it any bit better. I would be a little bit more uncomfortable and having the same emotions with less audio.
Our much anticipated developer State of the Union. Our VR team gives us a glimpse at the incredible new tools, APIs, and features they're building for developers, plus tips on how to build communities in and out of VR and grow your audience. That is not to be missed. So, we are ending our stream right now, but stay on the Reality Labs page, and after the break, have your pencils ready, or just sit back and enjoy the stream with the Dream Team. The Dream Team stream. See what I did there? It's all for Connect 2021,
So
the
weak.
Developer State of the Union. It's coming up at 11:45 a.m. Pacific, 2:45 Eastern. We'll see you there.
That's 20 minutes from now.
I don't think there's anything that we are going to care about in that.
I mean, the developer stuff, I don't think is going to cover gaming stuff. So, yeah. So, I think, you know, we can sit, we can digest this, we can talk a little bit, and then we can call it, because I'm just broken inside a little bit right now.
Yeah, you know what's so funny is, like, I remember seeing a, and I'm sorry if my shit's delayed. I'll try to fix this in the future, but my audio and video is probably not synced. Either way, you know, it's funny because I saw a tweet or something from Beat Saber, and they were like, "Hey, everybody, tune into the Connect. By the way, we just might be there."
But,
you know,
and that's another thing. You were like, "Oh, maybe we'll get something Beat Saber," and they're like, "Yeah, Beat Saber," and they showed a clip of a sword. Didn't
Yeah.
say anything about it. And
Level up.
And Zuck is like, wow. Sorry to blow out the mic there, guys. But he's like, wow, did you see that? I saw a sword and Beat Saber, something modders have been doing for like 4 years.
Well, I mean, it sucks that I have to sit here and be like, oh, what was that? I hate this conversation, but it said level up. He sliced through it and it goes ding, level up. Like
Okay.
a sword plus level up to me instantly is like RPG elements.
I
like
get it.
Some
I
kind
get
of
it,
progression
which is
system.
cool. I'm not going to disagree, which is cool, but that's it. You just tease.
I
Like
know.
if it's close to coming out, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah.
If it's not close to coming out, then like I don't really care.
Yeah. And it's like, what's the point of an announcement to say they're working on stuff? Like, I know they're working on stuff,
But
like
again-
we assume people are working on stuff. So don't have an announcement to say you're working on stuff.
I'm
Show us what
trying.
you're working on.
See, I'm trying to detract myself from the position we are currently in. We live in a VR bubble, so we talk about VR daily. We like game in VR daily. We're checking the news daily. For the average person, it's not like that. So
Who's watching Connect? Is the average person watching Connect? Do they have any idea what Connect is? No.
Well, there was 20,000 people watching Connect from their side alone, plus then the people who watch content creators and stuff like that. I'd say the vast majority of people who watch content creators were probably disappointed because this is no longer an Oculus Connect event. That's it. It has become a Facebook Connect and now a Meta event. It's Oculus has been hijacked. It's not long
Yeah, it's
details
true.
about, it's Facebook and they're showing their future. And so at a point of me is sad because as the gamers, as the Oculus supporters and the gamers, you want to be like, but we are the people who helped get your platform off the ground. We were the early adopters. We were the people who got your platform off the ground in the beginning. And now it's like, okay, you proved the technology a little bit. You have more investors, stockholders are happy. Now you're going to move on from us and do all this metaverse stuff, which I understand encompasses more people and is broader and, for the good of the world, or just encompasses the whole world, not just gamers. At the same time, it's just like an insult. It's like the people who bought into Rift. You got a Rift. They made a couple, higher production value games. Then you got a Rift S and you were really happy. And now they're just like, well, screw you. Rift S discontinued. We're not making PC games. That's not the future. It feels like they're just going to turn their back on you until they get like mass adoption. Everything prior to mass adoption is we might drop you at any moment. Because it's like, okay, we're using a group of 1,000 people to grow to 10,000. Then we're using that group of 10,000 people to grow to 100,000. We don't care if we lose those first 11,000 because they're suckers at this point. We have this other group of, the additional 90 we gained.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do see the metaverse, which I am so reluctant to call it this for some reason right now, but I don't see the metaverse or I do see the metaverse as like an inevitable future of this technology. Like using VR, using AR, it's all going to connect at some point. Like
just like
we,
the internet.
Exactly. Like we see that potential, and that this is a conversation we've been having for years now. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like, I don't know. You hit the nail on the head when you said it's been hijacked. Like Connect is not what it was anymore. Like
No.
it used to be about Oculus and about the new VR stuff that's coming out, and they just set a brand new tone and precedence for this event that we basically can expect like a little nugget of information, because at the end of the day, VR and gaming is a part of that.
Yeah.
But it used to be VR and gaming focused, and now we're not going to get that anymore. So I don't know if we should get hyped about this.
I think it's we go back 3 years and they were just like, oh, by the way, right now you can buy Asgard's Wrath. And we're all like, what?
Right.
Peeing our pants. Last year they're like, oh, by the way, Oculus Quest 2s are available for pre-order right now.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I felt like they went out of their way not to use the word Oculus. You know,
Right.
they'd say Quest, they'd say Facebook, they'd
Yeah,
say
you're right.
Metaverse, but Oculus, you know, they want to drop that.
Yep, that's a good point, man. And I am not surprised at all by the lack of Horizon stuff. Like to me, it still feels like Horizon came out yesterday. It feels like they like just made the same announcement that they made in 2019.
Yeah,
at Oculus
that's 2
Connect.
years ago, and we haven't seen anything.
And nothing's happened. And 2 years ago, they're like showing this trailer of people flying around and like playing games together and just like experiencing a metaverse-like platform.
Yeah.
And it is so far from that. And they just tried to throw a bunch of people at the developer community to make it something. And I don't think that's working. And it's like, I don't know. It's a lot of talk,
So let's compare this to what we saw from Pimax. And like, let's just break down how much more exciting Pimax is. Again, it's more exciting for gamers, not for the average person. I don't think at any time in the future we're gonna see like a random kid, a random group of kids, or like 20%, 30% of like high schoolers walking around with a Pimax device. I don't think that'll ever happen.
Mm-hmm.
Again, though, I do have a very selfish viewpoint. I try and, understand where everyone else is coming from, but I look at this tech and get excited based on my own, what I selfishly want. And I want cutting edge. I didn't have money growing up. I always dreamed about those higher end experiences. And when I was finally, well off enough and old enough to afford them, now that I have them, and it's like, Facebook is going out of its way to be like, no high-end experiences. Yeah, we're getting everyone involved. Here's your $300 device. That's it. It's the device for everyone. And high-end is like really not there in the VR space. Pimax is the only one doing that until hopefully Valve jumps back in.
Oh, and then they just tried to pass off this other headset. What they call it? Like, I
Was
don't
it
remember.
Cambridge? Cambridge was the
Yeah,
code
something
name?
like that. Yeah, something like
Cambria?
that.
Cambria?
Cambria.
Something.
Yeah, that sounds right. There you go. That's what they're saying.
Oh, someone
that's
says
gonna
Project Cambria in the chat.
They're gonna say
Yeah.
that's gonna be a high-end, way more expensive headset, and I guess we'll see it next year.
Carmack commented on it. And like, here's the thing. If you follow all the news consistently, you know exactly what's coming. And the average person doesn't, but you know what's exactly coming, what exactly is coming. You're not really excited. You've seen little like tidbits of it. But we knew. Carmack said, well, we're experimenting this last year. We're experimenting with a higher end model that'll be more expensive, that gives all the bells and whistles. We know what the bells and whistles are because we're following this tech. It's going to be RGB pass-through. It's going to be face tracking, eye tracking. It's going to be different lens. What did they announce? All of those things. It's not super exciting for us.
Yeah, and the leaks had way more footage of like avatars using it and stuff. Like
Yeah.
we saw very little actually during the keynote. And like I said, maybe they're planning on showing more and other portions of Connect, but they
at
got to
the
know
same-
they're about to lose everybody at this point.
I don't think they're going to lose anybody. I think they're fine.
No, I
think at the-
mean viewers. Like who's gonna sit around and like watch the rest of this?
That's true. But I think at the same time, they're going to do a split, and now they'll probably have more of like, we saw the kind of like a state of play they did for the Quest months back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they do that on top of this consistently, then I think we're okay. Because we would get what we personally are looking for. And then if we want more information on what Facebook or Meta is up to, we can go to, Meta Connect, which is what it'll be named next year.
Meta Connect.
MetaNect. So I mean that's the direction, that's where it's going. Makes sense. But they really need to step up their game for their state of play, because their last one was just terrible. It's like, well, guys, why did you have this? Because you didn't announce anything new. Like, they didn't announce anything new. I mean, if Capcom didn't do the Resident Evil announcement, then at least, the whole show would have been redeemed by that one announcement. But instead, they're like, hey, we have a game you guys have heard of because it's been announced already, and here it is. Oh, we have another game that's been announced already. And it's like, okay.
Right.
And the presentations aren't, great in themselves. That's why, like, Pimax, I think, killed it, even though their stream was delayed like a few hours or something, which wasn't a good look. But Pimax kind of killed it because their presenters did a much better job, and they felt like real gamers or people who were passionate about the technology. Throughout that entire event, we commented on how cringy Zuck were. Wow. Yeah, totally, Zuck. I mean, you know, it's like, it just felt so phony.
Yeah, and I mean the Pimax. To be fair, the Pimax presentation had a good amount of cringe in it until they started showing off the headset, and then the tone in the live chat changed so dramatically. Like everyone's just like ragging on the guy, like making fun of like the dialogue and all of that, and then they start dropping headset and information, and everyone just starts losing their shit.
So there is an aspect of all of these presentations that is cringy, because again, we're nerds. We're nerds, so we're all a little bit like less social than average. Some of us are better than others, but
Speak for yourself.
I know I'm awesome. But I mean, we can be socially awkward. We are a little bit nerdy, and you kind of have to be into this. So if you're not like into this at all, it comes off even worse. But I think, they did prove themselves as people who were passionate about the hardware and the direction. I'm talking about Pimax. Like, even in the beginning, some of the dialogue, it's definitely scripted and it's corny. When you're trying to make your point, that stuff isn't easy,
Right.
One is the writing, which can suck, and two is the delivery, which can suck. So it can go wrong in multiple different ways.
Yeah.
But at the end, I believed what they were saying. Like, I wasn't sure Pimax can pull it off, but I believe they were passionate and they were gamers and
They're
they
gonna
wanted
try.
to see this tech. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Well, whatever. I mean, the event's not over, right? But at least we're over. Like, we're gonna end our thing here, and move on with our days and catch highlights later. And if they drop something, it's not gonna be nearly as hype as it would have been if they would have dropped it during the keynote.
Yep.
So whatever. Hopefully Connect comes back, or honestly, one of us is probably just gonna have to start up like a VR expo and just cut fucking Facebook.
No,
and
I
Meta
think
out of it.
I think they're just gonna do more of their state of plays, and hopefully they can just make them better. But I cannot believe for an event that was once called Oculus Connect, we got nothing Oculus.
Yeah. I mean, San Andreas is super, super exciting. And I wish like I said, we didn't even have a chance to chew on it, but like, that would be really cool. And it would have been awesome if they dropped an announcement with like a little bit of gameplay or something, just to like show us a logo. That's not enough.
Nothing.
Like, that's not enough to get people excited, because like now by the time it actually comes out, it's going to be a long time from now, and some of that hype will be gone.
Yeah. I don't know. This was extremely disappointing because if we rewind back in time 2 hours, we got on the call immediately. The first thing I was telling you is how excited I am for today.
We were pumped.
And I was like, I rarely ever get excited. It's pretty crazy. Like, I rarely ever get excited. I am, maybe a little bit too cynical in life, maybe a little bit too jaded. But it's because of scenarios like this. It's like, well, why did I do this to myself? Well, I should have known better than getting excited. That's why, like, Resident Evil was a breath of fresh air for me, because I went into that expecting to be disappointed.
And everybody liked it, I think.
Yeah, it's probably the best of what the Quest can do. Obviously, the cutscenes, are immersion breaking, but it would have been too much work to fix those. Because you got to understand, like, the cutscenes are pre-rendered, they're in there. You would actually have to get the game engine to re-render all those scenes like live, or do some type of patchwork, because the story is in the cutscenes. So there's really no good way to do it without a ton of extra work, bringing people in, motion capture, stuff like that. So I get why it's there.
Yep. Me too. Well, dude, rest in peace, Oculus Connect. I gotta say, man, I went to OC6. I'm so happy I did, because obviously it's dead, and I did not, like, I left that event like a new person, like inspired and like stoked about VR and stoked about all the stuff that's coming. And then like, and even just like the keynote, just even the initial stuff was so much more what we want. Like, I don't think that this event was made for us, and
No, it
us
wasn't.
covering it almost seems a little redundant.
No, like I said today, Facebook, well, Oculus Connect has been hijacked. It is now 100% Meta Connect. So it was hijacked. That's the world we're living in now, and they'll probably switch to like State of Plays, you know, for the Oculus, for the Quest people, and that's where we are. That's it. It wasn't anything we were looking for.
Except San Andreas.
Yeah, but again, in development, you know, that can be 2 years from now, 3 years from now. How far in development? Did he pick up the phone before this and go, oh, we got to make an announcement? Put San Andreas in development.
Right.
Obviously you got to get approval, you know, for the IP from Rockstar. But you know, they had a phone call with Rockstar, and Rockstar's like, yeah, we could try. And that's like all that happened. And it's like, in development. We have no idea how far along. And again, we're going so far back in time with games. Like, I had this conversation with Eric for president. I don't think VR just suddenly makes a game better. Like, I know there are people under that belief. Like, Paradise Decay plays everything in 4x and says, oh, it's so much better when you play it in VR. And I do not feel that way at all. That's like just me pressing my face up against the screen, some of the, you know, the VR iterations of the Vorpex version of the game. You're still playing with a controller, there's no physics, there's no real immersion. So rehashing old games, unless it's done really, really well, is just like, it doesn't make the game better, and they're games I've played before. One of the things that intrigues me about movies, games, books, anything, is, you know, it's the intriguing aspect. The storyline that hooks me, and I go, oh, what's the deal with that character? What's gonna happen here? You know, like those moments where you're like those, you know, oh shit moments. If you've played something, those moments are all gone. Yeah, you could re-experience them and re-enjoy them, but it's not the same. Like I said to Eric, one of my favorite games ever is Mass Effect. Do I want to play that game in VR? Not the original, probably not. I mean, I've played it to death. Will just seeing it from a new perspective, those old graphics from a new perspective, change the experience? I don't think so.
See, but I would rather do that because I didn't play Mass Effect. So there's a lot of these like amazing games that came out that maybe people are too young to play, or they couldn't afford to, or whatever. They just didn't get around to playing it. Like Resident Evil 4 for me, you know, and Skyrim for me,
and
like
and
both
again,
of those games.
And again, I agree with you. This is my selfish viewpoint. This is a purely selfish viewpoint. I'm sure there's plenty of other people out there just like me, but maybe I'm not the majority. Maybe I'm, you know, leaning more towards the minority here. But my future doesn't like matter. The only reason why it matters is because this is my platform. And I get to say my opinion and talk about what I like. And that's the only reason why that really matters here. Sure, they might disappoint other people just like me, but, you know, who cares? If it's in their best interest, they're going to do it.
I personally like it. And I mean, I don't think they should like rest on that like as their best effort. Like, I still think we should be getting new AAA content that isn't relying on like these 15-year-old games.
Yeah.
But I absolutely think that these 15-year-old games should have new life breathed into them with VR or with remasters.
Yeah.
You know, like Diablo 2 just got remastered, and
So did Mass Effect.
Diablo 2. It's so awesome.
I think it was May. It got remastered.
You know, like someone who didn't play that when they were younger will never play Diablo 2, the old school version. It looks like hot garbage compared to everything else that they play. So it's a way for new audience, for these games to reach new audiences, you know, games that deserve to reach new audiences. So,
and you know what?
I'm into it.
Yeah, and I talked about how Resident Evil 4 on the Quest is actually a huge stepping stone and probably the best move the Quest could have done. For starters, it's probably like one of the best looking games on the Quest. It's not a very colorful game, but, you know, they redid the textures. It runs amazingly well. And it kind of shows you like, okay, you can do pretty convincing graphics on the Oculus Quest. You know, again, nothing like you see on PC VR, but definitely good enough. Because, you know, I'm one of those people that's rarely impressed. So it's definitely, you know, good enough for sure. It's a full experience. It's also, you know, nostalgic. So older people like me will go, oh yeah, you know, I loved that game. I want to replay it. I want to re-experience it. So they're covering like all their bases. Younger people never tried it, want to get into it. It's a great example of what the Quest can do. And then there's nostalgia for the older people. So it's a great decision. And, you know, I think this also helps sell the platform to developers. They say, look, you know, a AAA title can survive on the Quest. Look how many times we sold Resident Evil 4. You know, oh, we sold 2 million copies, whatever. You know, Facebook doesn't give us numbers. But we sold X amount of copies and they made so much money. So this is going to encourage not only, you know, developers to rehash their old games, but people to invest in larger AAA style titles for the Quest. It's a great stepping stone. It's a great move, and I can't deny it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited about it. You know, I'm truly grateful for my Skyrim PlayStation VR experience. Like, did not play Skyrim growing up, played it on PSVR, loved it. Was so grateful to have a huge world to explore, you know, and did not care that the game was old.
See, like my issue with Skyrim was when I got it for PC VR, I was at the point where I probably put, I don't know, 600 hours into Skyrim already. Played it with 8 million mods.
Yeah.
And then put it on the vanilla version with, you know, VR and said, wait a second. One, I'm replaying Skyrim again. And I'm playing vanilla Skyrim. I know you are able to put in mods, but let's just pause for a second. I'm playing vanilla Skyrim, and two things were really killing the experience for me. The really old textures. Like sometimes the world looked great, and then you see like the dragon fly by and like his wing had super low res textures, and you're like, that looks terrible. So like the immersion breaking for me, and then like the wiggle physics. Like you take a sword, or you don't even need a sword. You can like go up to a guy and go, and like slap him 200 times in 5 seconds and just wreck bosses that way. Like it was jank and it wasn't built for VR. Mods have done a phenomenal job to turn it into like a much better experience. But my initial impression, this was my initial impression. I was like, nah, I don't care for this.
Loved it so much. Played a lot and miss it and long for another experience like it.
Anyone who, you know, enjoyed Skyrim VR, I would not knock them for a second. I get it. I understand why it's so freaking cool. But on that note, my brain went to Legendary Tales. You still playing it, man?
Nah, I mean, you know, it's like what are they? It's like a revolving door over here. You know, like I get into a game for like a couple of days, do some stuff with it, and then like boom, I'm like on to the next thing, like moving on. I have few games that I go back to regularly. I did a little bit of Community Population 1 though on Friday.
I played yesterday.
So it was really fun.
I was pretty embarrassing. I haven't played in I don't know how many months. I was playing solos. Everyone in there is level 60. I got 2 kills in like 5 games. The first 3 games I was just like nervous and embarrassed and forgot the controls, and like then after that I started coming into my own and I was being okay. I would only give myself okay. But I don't have time to practice multiplayer games anytime. And like having the channel and covering so many different games, you know, you're always jumping to something else. And I have very little free time. So then like what happens is I'll play a game consistently like for 2 weeks, get super pumped, love it. Then I got to cover something else, don't play it for a few weeks, jump back in, feel behind the curve, get disappointed, stop playing it. And then everyone else just progresses. And I'm too scared to jump back in because I know I don't have the time to practice. I'm just going to get crushed.
Dude, Resident Evil. That is actually the game that I want to put my headset on to play.
Yeah.
Resident Evil. It is intense. It's exciting. It looks really good. It's a Resident Evil game. It's awesome.
Resident Evil is good. It's probably the best the Quest has to offer.
It's up there. I mean, that set, you know, with all of its imperfections included.
Yeah. With its imperfections, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think it's time, man. You know.
Yeah.
Get something to eat.
Yep.
Maybe.
If you're gonna go about your day, chat. I will hang out with you for a little bit. I'll answer some of your questions, but we're gonna say goodbye to Alex. Thank you very much for joining, hanging out, helping me rip on Facebook today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here. You know, I love Oculus Connect, so I was excited for this event, and I'm glad that I had you to share the experience with.
Yeah, we were on the same wavelength. We're on the same wavelength here. Feel free, plug your stuff. Everybody, go check out Between Realities. Go plug away.
Oh yeah, thanks. Weekly podcast called Between Realities on Fridays. This is the logo. Please come and check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/betweenrealities. Do it with my co-host and friend Skiva. Yeah, that's it. Also, Behaptics is cool. Check that out.
Oh, yeah. I'm always showing off. I'm going to drop some links. I am always showing off my Behaptics. Dropped a link for you there, buddy. Definitely check them out. It's honestly one of the best VR podcasts out there. There's quite a few. They have amazing guests on. I've been on 3 times now, once physically in person.
The only one.
All the way to Arizona to chill with these guys. So yeah, go check them out. Alex and Skiva are just awesome dudes. And thanks for joining, buddy.
Thank you so much, man. It is always a pleasure. Have a great day. Thank you to everyone in chat for being here and hanging out as well. And I look forward to seeing everyone very soon.
Yep. Peace out. I'm going to kick you right out. Boop. He was saying he just kicks people right out. So like, I got to do it, right? I got to do it. Hey guys, how you doing? How's it going today? Not the event we were expecting, right? Not the event we were expecting. I used to do a live stream every single Wednesday. I haven't done it in 4 months because my schedule changed. But yeah, I used to do a live stream where I just answer your questions and I just hang out with you guys and talk. So now that we're here, if you guys have any questions, fire away. I'm yours for the next few minutes and then I'm going to go get some food. But what was everyone's overall take on what transpired today? I don't know, man. I'm assuming you guys feel like me. I haven't tried the RE2 mod yet. I don't know. I usually like to wait until mods mature a little bit more because I don't have a lot of free time. And if I have to spend an hour monkeying around with a mod, I'm frustrated because that's like my free time. You thought the event sucked? I'm not going to really disagree. Future, man, it was rough. It was rough. Turd. I mean, I was talking with some people on the side during the event, like, WTF is this? And some people were defending it. But no, this is more this is a meta event now. This is not an Oculus event. Just that was my takeaway. Let's see. Oh, wow. Chat jumped there for a bit. Let's see. So people rush to sell their Quest. They're going to be pissed, yeah. I know Future was almost on that list. It was just a commercial. I feel the same. Again, yeah, for shareholders. Is there a new Oculus release? There is no new headset. They teased the Cambria, which is going to be like a headset with extra bells and whistles sometime next year. You know, face tracking, more expensive. They told us that Blade and Sorcery Nomad, I don't know what limitations are in Nomad, but they usually just like to rename games for the Quest. So like In Death Unchained, Robo Recall. Is that also Unchained? Robo Recall Unleashed. So like they like to tack a name on. So Blade and Sorcery is coming to the Quest. They're working on San Andreas, GTA San Andreas for the Quest. We got a tiny tease of hardware. Was there anything else? And then metaverse. No. They really wasn't much. Oh, they gave us a tiny like tease that some type of leveling system is coming to Beat Saber. And they mentioned Population 1, like cool updates on the way. Cool. Hand straps, so exciting. I know, man. Alright, what about now? Should I buy an Oculus Quest 2 or wait for the next one? Mustbat TV, if you're gonna wait for the next one, you're waiting till sometime next year, probably a whole nother year. So if you want to get into VR now, yeah, you need a Quest 2. You don't have another choice. I think all the new hardware is coming next year. So we're gonna see something from Pimax. We're gonna see PlayStation 2 and probably something from Valve. And Quest, it's still up in the air very much. Also not requiring a Facebook account. Yeah, but you're going to just require a Meta account now. I would agree that Pimax stole the show this week. It started with Vario Arrow, which we're like, okay, cool, big leap in fidelity, but $2,000. Not super interested. Then Pimax came out and like their stream was delayed, so like, oh, there's gonna be a crap show. But then they're like, yeah, you know what we're bringing? We're bringing 12K. We're bringing QLED. We're bringing a Y gig, 60 gigahertz Y gig. We're bringing Wi-Fi E streaming. We're bringing a little PC that you could carry around with you. We're bringing facial tracking. We're bringing eye tracking, full body tracking, and it's like, yo, save some hardware for everybody else, man. Now, can they pull it off? I don't know. And they're also like, we're also bringing the most amazing deal now, because if you buy a headset anytime between now and next year, you get that price off on a 12K. And it's like, what? I mean, they're trying to raise money right now. That's what that is. But damn. Oh, I hate the term Pimaxians. Don't get me started there. Only account used for VR is Steam. I really hope Valve just like kicks in the door. They're like, now that the Meta Connect event is over, here's a real gaming system. The Deckard, which can't be the full name. I wonder how much would have been... God, the chat moved on me. I wonder how much would have been made shown without the pandemic or bad PR from Facebook. I mean, the pandemic definitely impacts stuff, but at this point, like, I was watching a video today on how Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings was produced primarily remotely. I mean, obviously the actors are there, the stuntmen are there, but like all the CGI and stuff, they did a lot of that stuff remotely. So like they'd send the footage somewhere, they'd edit stuff and send it back, or logging into remote systems and working on footage. And it's like, if they could do that, if they could pull that off, you can basically do anything remotely these days. Yeah, Pimaxians had a weird sound to me. It just you say zodiac sign, like it sounds like dystopian, Illuminati, something wacky to it. It didn't sit right with me. Yeah, Valve can just sit back. They really don't need to try and steal the show. Well, Ruckus, a lot of times that's what happens in life. Like, we know something can be done, but no one will do it until their hand is forced. Like, it's like, oh no, that's too hard. We can't do that. We can't do it. Until you have no choice. Until someone, something happens, something catastrophic, or, someone, puts the boot down on you, whatever the case may be. You don't know what you can do until you don't have a choice. It's like if I dropped you in the middle of the ocean and you're like half a mile out from the shore, a good portion of people will make it, because they don't have a choice. And under normal circumstances, you're not swimming that far ever. But when you don't have a choice, things happen. We were promised flying cars and hoverboards by now. Yeah, we have hoverboards. They're just on wheels. It's so sad. the MSRP on the item. This is 300, I believe, and the X40 is, this one is 500. The X16 is 300. Well, you can't just take it, Nutella, bruh. You can't just take it. You gotta win it. So just click the link and go for it, man. Future, you think Carmack's boring? So I like the information he covers. I think, you know, I can nerd out on what he talks about, but it's not sexy. It's not exciting. You know, he'll be like, we tried working on this. We had a difficulty with the optics, but we did eventually come out with a cooler optics plan, and, you know, it really helped visual fidelity. And you know, that's kind of how he'll talk to you. Well, you know, I don't know what to say. He's never been an exciting person. Like, it's just not him. But I think, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, I'm going to drop this link right here one more time. You guys can go ahead, enter that giveaway, get yourself a B haptic suit, hopefully, if you get lucky. And yeah, I'm going to call it a day. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. It was a fun stream. I miss streaming for you guys. Maybe we'll bring it back. I got some new equipment, so we might be doing it in the near future. I got myself a new mic, nice professional grade mic. I got a new camera because I'm really not happy with this camera, even though I think it looks okay right now. But yeah, we're gonna be up in the game a little bit, and maybe I'll be back to streaming. We'll see what happens. I always want to do this full time at one point, but it's really got to generate a lot more money before I get there. So yeah, it is what it is, guys. I'm just talking out of my butt at this point. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. It's been fun. I will talk to you guys. I don't know. I'm going to have a video up for tomorrow, I guess. I'm going to try and cover this event, cover everything that happened this week. But that's it, guys. I will see you on, I guess, tomorrow or Monday. Bye.